And here we go. Welcome in to another edition of Bucky and BK alongside Bucky Godbolt. I am BK, Brad Kellner. Today is February 2nd, 2026, and it's the beginning of a new era for this show. We have a very exciting announcement to get to in just a matter of moments. But before we do that, first and foremost, Buck, how are you today, my man?
I'm doing fabulous. What a beautiful day today. How about 65 today, 68 to 70 degrees in the Austin area? I'm not calling for winter to be over yet, though. Remember, I just said it had just started last week, but it's not over yet. We're going to have some cool mornings, BK, but the days look like 60s and 70s. And what can you say, man? I'm happy about it. I'm not sad. Maybe you need winter. Maybe you need some bugs to die. Not me. Bring on the heat for me, brother.
What are you, Punxsutawney Phil? You don't get to make this call.
Oh, I get to make this call. Sorry about that, Punxsutawney. 6 more weeks for you suckers back east. Not up in here. That's not happening. That only works in Pennsylvania, Ohio, New Jersey, New York. That doesn't happen in the state of Texas. Maybe even in Oklahoma that may happen. They can get that cold weather. But in this grand state, that ain't happening, brother.
I guess the whole point of Groundhog Day is that it's the same thing every year. Punxsutawney Phil this morning did see his shadow, which means he is predicting 6 more weeks of winter. That's the 20th time he's predicted that since the turn of the century. The guy is a one-trick pony or a one-trick groundhog at this point.
I know. Give
Same
us a
thing
break.
every year.
Yeah, give us a break. Tell us, hey, it soon will be 90 degrees here in Central Texas. Just tell us that. What if you want in Pennsylvania? Hey, you can have your 27 degrees for the high in PA. I don't think that. We don't think like that here. Or at least I don't think like that. Yeah. I know there's some of you got to have your winter, but I don't need to have it. I had it last week. That was it.
That's more than enough.
Yeah, that is more than enough, no doubt about it. Let me say hello to the soldiers. Good day to the soldiers at Fort Hood, Texas, the state of Texas, and all those that fight for us each and every day. Thank you so much for what you do. To you EMS workers, all you police officers out there, all you emergency workers, please, to you and your families, do be safe out there.
Yes, indeed. Well said, as always, my friend. A lot to get to. We will recap both Texas basketball wins over Oklahoma. How about the men taking down the Sooners on Saturday? The women getting the job done here in Austin yesterday. Texas football landing another commitment, a very late commitment for their recruiting class of 2026. Of course, it is Super Bowl week. We'll start to preview the Seahawks and the Patriots. That game coming up on Sunday. We've got some golf to get into, some tennis to get into. And yeah, we will let the people hear from Punxsutawney Phil, or at least guys who act like they're Punxsutawney Phil. I don't understand the Northeast. I don't get those people up there.
Smelly little groundhog.
Smelly little groundhog.
Wow.
But the announcement, we teased it all last week. It is now officially official. Buck, it's Groundhog Day for us. We have partnered.
Yes.
Yeah, we have partnered with iHeartMedia and 1300 The Zone, the flagship radio station of the Texas Longhorns. And Buck, we are back on the radio. It's only fitting that day one is on Groundhog Day. But here we go again. It's you and it's me, and it's back on the Austin airwaves every afternoon from 5 to 7 p.m. You'll be able to catch this show in its entirety, Bucky and BK, on The Zone and the iHeart Radio app. We are super excited about this. This is a great step in our story. And Buck, The Zone is a place that means a lot to the two of us. We have both spent some time working there in our pasts, and we are thrilled to be working with them once again.
Yeah, I mean, I started my radio career there at AM 1300 The Zone and spent a lot of years there. And it's a special place. You and I got a chance to go over to iHeart to see their new digs. And what a place that is. Wow. I thought the old Penfield building was something special. Man, where they are down there by the 360 bridge is awesome. It is. It's a gorgeous facility. I saw a lot of the old heads still there, which is kind of cool to walk into that building. But it's a great opportunity for myself and you. And it's a place that people come to listen to when it comes to sports. The Hall of Famer Craig Way is, on before us during the course of the day. And that's something special. So some of the people that when I left iHeart, well, it wasn't iHeart at that time, as a matter of fact. I think it was Clear Channel at that time.
Yeah.
But Craig Way was one of the folks that came and talked to me and told me to continue on. He was one that helped me. And, with his guidance, along with people like Bill Schoening, Lise Hudson back in the day, giving us the opportunity to do what we do, it's kind of grown. I'm going on closer to almost 30 years of radio now, which is incredible. So it's great to be back. It's great to be back on the airways, and a lot of people respect that radio station. So we'll get our opportunity to continue to blossom on AM 1300 The Zone.
Yeah, it's an iconic station, and a station that has been intertwined with sports in this town for a long, long time. And funny enough, that's where I started my sports radio career too. The very first internship I had as a college student at the University of Texas was at The Zone. And then my very first salary job that I had in this business was at AM 1300 The Zone as a producer for The Bottom Line with Chip Brown and the late great Sean Adams. So it's a station that means a lot to the two of us personally, and again, to so many folks around Central Texas. It's a great lineup. I see our guy Mike Harge chiming in already. Of course, the morning kickoff, 7 to 9 a.m. with Mike Harge and Mark Henry. We're going to be following up Craig Way, the legendary voice of the Longhorns. You can catch his show on The Zone from 2 to 5. And then again, our show will be 5 to 7 each and every weekday afternoon right there on The Zone. And of course, the free iHeart Radio app as well.
Awesome, man. Awesome.
Great stuff. So appreciate y'all's support. We couldn't have done this without you. Thank y'all for being along for the ride. So many ways to get involved with the show. We are still on social media. We are still on YouTube. We are still in podcast form. And again, you can obviously catch us right here on The Zone and the iHeartRadio app as well. All right. A lot of sports to dive into, Buck.
Speaking of sports, there's a big day coming up here in 2 days, isn't there?
Boy, here we go.
We're not done. We're not done with Texas football by any means. I know you've got some news today, but there will be more coming, I think, in 2 days with the real National Signing Day showing up. And I know everybody out there is excited to hear some of the great things that's probably going to happen to Texas.
Yeah, congrats to you. National Signing Day 2 is coming up this Wednesday. The first Wednesday in February used to be the biggest day of the recruiting year, and really one of the biggest days on the college football calendar. And because of the early signing period and the transfer portal and all of the crazy changes that have gone on with college football, it just doesn't hit the same as it used to. And most of the top players, heck, most of the players in general, sign in December. So there are very few recruits that are still out there. But over the weekend, Texas did pick up a commitment from a defensive lineman from the state of California, Elijah Ali, Southern California, Santa Monica kid. He was in Austin late last week on a visit. Texas offered him while he was here, and he announced his commitment to the Horns on Saturday. And yes, he is expected to sign on Wednesday. Buck.
Oh, yes. Yeah, there's one. I have my tie on, my suit ready to go, ready to get that signature on that dotted line. That'll come in over fax, of course, because that still works here in America, I believe.
And so when's the last time you've sent or received a fax? Does anyone use a fax machine anymore?
I don't know. Do they still use Pony Express? I don't know. Some places they do. Some places have fax machines. I don't know why they have them, but they still have them around.
I feel like that's an email or probably a text or maybe a TikTok dance at this point. That's all you have to do. And all of a sudden, boom, you're signed.
Oh, he won't be the only one. Somebody, hey, like I told you the other day, somebody owes somebody a favor out there in Central Texas.
Yeah, you've been on this, and I'll give you some credit. I didn't think Texas was going to add anybody. It was kind of a surprise that the Longhorns were hosting any more class of 2026 recruits. But again, Elijah Ali in town late last week. When he got to Texas, he did not have an offer, but you figured it could have been coming considering they invited him and his family here for a visit. And then they offered while he was here, and then boom, they make it happen. So as of now, Texas has 23 high school signees in this 2026 class. 21 of those 23 are already on campus. Early enrollees, they started the spring semester as UT students, got to go through winter workouts, going through spring football here in the not too distant future. So the vast majority of the class is already on campus. Obviously, with the later signing for Elijah Ali, he won't be here until the summer. He'll finish up his high school career, and then he will get here, most importantly, for the fall. But I think that's it. Buck. I've been told that there won't be any more high schoolers visiting, committing, signing between now and Wednesday. But who knows? Maybe there's more in the books.
Hey, somebody owes somebody a favor, owes a high school coach a favor. Hey, remember the kid I got to you 4 years ago? Well, I got one that may be okay. I think he's just kind of borderline, but he can help you with depth. He can help you on the look team. He can do some things. By the way, you guys got some scholarships available, I presume. You have a few left. And I know that, you've already spent some NIL money, but you know what? This kid just wants to be a part of the Longhorn Nation. That's all. He wants to come. His grandfather went to Texas. His Uncle Joe went to Texas. So give a kid a break.
Yeah, I don't know how often that's happening at Texas these days. I mean, think about where this program was 4 years ago compared to where it is right now.
Not owing too many people favors now?
Yeah, well, Texas is winning a lot more games and competing for a lot more championships than they were. Look at the 2021 season when the Longhorns went 5-7, had their longest losing streak in more than a half century. And then since then, 2 trips to the college football playoff and a bunch of success now in the Southeastern Conference. I don't know if there's a lot of handouts anymore at the University of Texas.
Well, they spend a lot of money in travel. I mean, as I said, these NIL deals, these coaches have to go places to recruit kids. But as I said, when they're there and they're just going by, they still go visit campuses of high schoolers. They like I said, you'll see a kid on film that you thought, nah, maybe not. Let's just see if he matured a little bit more during the course of the season or at the end of the season. Because I haven't been really paying attention to this particular kid because I'm out in California somewhere. I'm down in Florida looking at running backs. But there's a kid in the state of Texas that I originally said, you know what, in the beginning of the season, I really like this kid, but his name didn't show up as a 5-star or a 4-star, could be a 3-star kid. So I never really went back to him. Let me see how he's developed. All of a sudden you look back and somebody says, you know what, he developed into a pretty good player. And, you do have to coach them up. They don't just come in as instant stars. You got to help, get these guys into where you're looking to have them and how they fit your program. There may be 1 or 2 of those still hanging around. I don't care. If they come up with 2 more during the course of on the National Signing Day 2, which they call it, yuck. It's the National Signing Day. If they come up with 2 players, a wide receiver, an outside back, or somebody like a defensive back that you may have thought didn't quite, come up to snuff as a 4 or 5-star, but could be a 2 or 3 that you could develop. Why not?
Yeah, well, I like the strategy for Texas, and I like the way they're trying to build. And we'll get back to this conversation, but Elijah Ali has committed to Texas. He is expected to sign on Wednesday. And again, it's a continuation of a good theme for the way Steve Sarkisian is trying to build the Longhorn team.
Yes.
I do want to read a couple of comments here, Buck, and answer some questions from some people before we dive back into this, because there's understandably some questions and some confusion about, what's happening with the 2 of us. Question from Grant: will we still be podcasting episodes to Spotify? Absolutely. This show will still be podcasted on Spotify or Apple. So if you can't catch us live, there's still plenty of ways to go back and catch the show every single day. The show that we will be doing on The Zone and iHeart will be just a replay of this show. So if you want to catch us, the livest, the freshest content, what we've got going on, tune in from 9 to 11. Find us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter/X, Twitch, the ways that you typically caught this show in the past. You will be able to catch this show between 9 to 11 a.m. each and every day. Shout out to our guy, Noe, by the way, for the
Thank you, Noe.
generous super chat on a Monday morning. Is the text line still around? Yes, CB, if y'all want to interact with this show from 9 to 11, the text line, the Coda text line, 512-222-9328 is still rocking and rolling, so you could hit us up there.
But BK has some surprises about some of that stuff, right?
What's that?
The text line. Are they going to be able to talk to us.
Yep. So there is, if you are tuned in on YouTube,
I'll just say this. I'm horrified of you people.
There is a link. We're going to post this every single day to those of you who are tuned in on YouTube during the 9 to 11 portion of this program, where you will be able to click that link and join us here in our virtual studio and be a part of the show. A lot of y'all have been asking to call in. How can we chime in? Oh, bring back the Blitz. What do we? Now's your chance. Now is your chance to be a part of the show each and every day. So we'll see if the people actually do it, Buck.
Oh, they'll do it. And that's why I'm afraid, because they'll do it.
I'm a little surprised.
Because they don't have jobs. They don't have jobs, and they have nothing else to do.
Yeah, maybe that's why we shifted from 7 to 9 to 9 to 11 a.m.
Yeah, because some of them have to actually go to work by then.
Yeah, so they're too busy to actually be able to call in to the show, so we don't have to worry about more of you people.
Yes.
Chiming in. So keep the questions coming. Again, it's we're excited about this transition. We're incredibly grateful for y'all's support. None of this would have been possible without each and every one of you. And look, this is a transition for us too. So we're learning some things as we go along. Obviously, not a lot of time between the change from what we've been doing to what we've got going on right now. But yeah, appreciate everything you guys have done for us. And again, want to try to be as transparent as we possibly can to everybody who tunes in on digital to what we've got going on.
Yes, and believe me, we'll be using our radio voices. We remember that. We remember that from radio. So don't ask us about some of the stuff that had been going on, because we are professionals and we've been pretty good at what we do at that. So we'll be using our radio voices, believe me. But BK, for folks that want to know, will the internets and the interwebs and the my face, chat face, and all that stuff find you with airplane stories, or are those going to still be available to our YouTube folks?
Oh yeah.
Oh God.
What has made this show is not going anywhere. And the beauty of, doing this live hours before it gets played on the zone is we got some time to chop some things up and to clean some things up if need be. So we're not after like, oh, well, these guys are, it's now all radio and they're not going to be fun anymore. And it's going to be, no, we're still going to have a good time. We're going to continue to be the Bucky and BK show that y'all have fallen in love with over the last 3 years. And yeah, we'll bring you great sports content, entertaining, informative, and don't worry, we will still be going off the rails from time to time.
Oh my goodness. Yes.
So, yeah, it'll be fun.
By the way, the top five airplane videos last week was incredible. My wife got a chance to look at them. She said, "Oh my word. I'm glad I never saw those before."
Yeah. I mean, if you are wondering where we're at in society, just go back and check out that segment from last Friday's show. Because
wow, a mess. We are a mess.
Those are only 5 too. We could have done a top 25 if we wanted to, with all the craziness that has happened on airplanes and at airports over the last few years. People are a mess these days, but we love the people. All right. So back to the Elijah Ali commitment again, National Signing Day 2 coming up on Wednesday. Buck, this is a continuation. It's something you and I have talked about for a long, long time. Steve Sarkisian and this Texas staff, they realize the importance of building on the lines of scrimmage, right? I think that's something Sark probably learned dating back to his time working with Pete Carroll at USC, but I think he really learned how important offensive and defensive line play is in the SEC from his time at Alabama, coaching under Nick Saban. And it's something that, you've worried about it. I've worried about it. I think most Longhorn fans have worried about it. Texas has lost so much talent on the defensive line in recent years. Yes. And it's like, oh my gosh, there's no way they're going to be able to overcome that. And it just feels like every single year they still have one of the best defensive lines in college football. So Elijah Ali is not a day one starter. He's a stash guy, developmental piece. Sure. But it's Texas clearly showing, like, very late in the cycle, that no, we know the importance of developing our guys on the defensive line. We're going to continue doing that because that has been a huge part of turning this program around.
They've tried to execute that on the offensive side, but we know for a fact that defensively they've done a fantastic job over the last 4 years. And I kept saying every year as they got a little bit better, they start winning more games. They're getting to semifinals. I'm like, there's just going to come a year they're not going to be able to do this. And so far, since I've said that, it hadn't happened. They just year after year, that defensive line is a position that Sark and his staff look at and say, we have to have this. We have to have this. And it wouldn't have mattered if they were in the Big 12 or the SEC. They've just figured, hey, this is the way you play football on your lines of scrimmage. Still hoping that they will continue that on the other side of the ball, on the offensive side. They've taken care of some of that. I don't know. We won't know that until the season starts, when they start maneuvering guys around, for the offensive line part. But defensively, I had faith in PK. I've got faith in the new defensive coordinator. That's very important to them, is that they're strong physically and not having people run the ball down their throats.
Yeah, absolutely. It's crazy. Just look at the last 3 years alone, right? After 2023, Texas lost 2 top 40 NFL draft picks on the defensive line,
right,
with Byron Murphy and T'Vondre Sweat. And yet there was hardly any drop-off in production from 23 to 24. And then after that 2024 season, where Texas made it back to the college football playoff, Alfred Collins and Vernon Broughton, they go pro. Those guys are both day 2 picks in the NFL draft. Also, Barron Sorrell, you lose him off the edge as an early day 3 pick. And you're like, man, there's no way they're going to be able to replace all 3 of those guys and everything they brought to the defensive line during their Texas careers. And then 2025, Texas still had a very, very productive defensive line, top 10 rush defense in the sport, and top 3 in the country in terms of sack rate per game. So this year, look, once again, Texas is losing some guys, not necessarily the top flight NFL talent, but Cole Brevard's gone. He filled a pretty important role at defensive tackle. Travis Shaw is gone. Our friend Ethan Burke, friend of Bucky and BK, he's also off to the NFL. Those are all very good players. 2 of those guys were only here for a year, but obviously Ethan Burke, a very important contributor on the Longhorn defense during his time in Austin. And yet, despite losing those guys, Buck, I'm now confident that that group is still going to be a strength of this team in 2026.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree. I don't have anything but what they've shown over the last couple of years, that that's important. And the guys that they're looking at are players. They're not just gap fill guys. Their guys are coming to play. They'll play significant roles when they get in the game. They'll be in most of the games, and they'll do well.
Yeah,
it's just the way it's gone. For me, it's more of what the defensive scheme is going to look like now. That's going to be new to everybody. I know people are used to Coach Boom and what he's done in the past, but you know how it is here. What have you done lately? That's how it'll be. Let us see what you have, and I think that'll be. I think it'll be. I don't know what it'll be. I don't know. I know it'll be good so far, because for the last 3 years, it's been more than just good. It's been exceptional.
Has been. Yeah, it's been really a big part of this team's turnaround. And, of course, it was an eyebrow-raising decision by Steve Sarkisian to move on from Pete Kwiatkowski and bring back Coach Boom. Time will tell if he got that one right. But the emphasis on building through the defensive line has not gone anywhere.
No,
and I think there's a lot of versatility on this defensive line, too, to where Coach Boom and Kenny Baker, the defensive line coach, and Alan Clark, the edge coach, they've got a lot of different pieces, a lot of body types, a lot of skill sets that they can work with, to where, okay, pretty much whatever look they want to give, whatever front they want to show, they've got enough pieces to make that happen. Last year they brought in 5 defensive linemen from the portal. This year, they signed 4 out of high school. They brought in 2 more from the portal. You've got guys like Hero Canoe, Alex January, Murad Watson, Josiah Sharma, Myron Charles back. It is a deep group. I don't think you have that first round. There's no Byron Murphy in there.
No.
At least I don't think there's a Byron Murphy in there. I hope one of these guys proves me wrong. But there's so much depth, and you need to have that rotation. We're hoping Texas plays a 15 or 16 game season in 2026, and it's hot here early on in the season. You think of Ohio State coming to town week 2 in early September.
That's right.
You have to be fresh. You have to be able to rotate guys in and out, especially those big guys. And Texas clearly has the bodies that they feel good about on the interior.
Yeah, and they've gotten guys that they're not always just peak performers, but they've worked them in. Barron Sorrell had to have that great year. We thought maybe he won't come back. Maybe he'll go. He could have gone in the NFL draft the year before he left. But it was like, no, he came back, dude, and he made himself – that guy plays in games in the NFL. That dude is playing football. And he really made himself better by coming back. He thought this was the place to do it. These were the people that he needed to be around to do it. And the same Ethan Burke, as years went on, that guy got better and better and better. He developed. He was big in a lot of big games. And I think they'll do the same. And hopefully they'll continue to do the same. Now we got to see that on the offensive side. We really do. We've got to see that on the offensive line. That development has to happen, not as just individuals, but as a group.
You know, it's interesting. Like Texas was doing a very good job developing offensive line talent until this past season.
Yes.
Right? Like they had not gone to the transfer portal to bring in offensive linemen because they hadn't really needed to. I mean, they had a very good O-line in both 2023 and 2024, and all of those guys were signed and developed out of high school.
Yeah, and I think maybe what we saw is they had different types of runners too. I mean,
right. It was everybody. It was a collective. Yeah. But look, I think it's safe to say that Texas made a bit of a mistake by not bringing in an offensive lineman or two from the portal. Like they lost 4 guys after the 2024 season. Right. And again, it's like on the defensive line, they knew they were losing bodies. So what do? They brought in 5 from the portal. Yes. Offensive line lost 4 starters, including Kelvin Banks, who was a top 10 pick. And they're just like, nah, we're okay. We trust what we have.
Yeah, we trust our offensive line coach, and we trust our high school system that we've built. We'll build and develop guys through the high school. And we're finding out the portal is win national championships. That's kind of where it's at. Older players, older developed, experienced players. You know, they're not necessarily, 5 stars. I mean, Indiana didn't have a bunch of 5 stars, but they were older players that had developed, and their coach knew them from where he was previously,
For sure. Look, development still matters. There's no doubt. I mean, high school recruiting will always be the lifeblood of a good, sustainable college football team.
I believe so. I mean, I truly want to believe that.
Well, I mean, look at Texas. I mean, this coming year, like Arch Manning wasn't a transfer. Colin Simmons wasn't a transfer. Ryan Wingo, Trevor Gooseby, Jelani McDonald, like a lot of the guys who are expected to be the very best players on a team that's hopefully competing for a national championship are guys that were, right. Like they signed out of high school. They were developed here at Texas. So look, this is not an anti-transfer portal rant. That helps. I mean, I'm excited Cam Coleman's here. I'm excited those running backs are here. Don't get me wrong. It's great to bring in dudes who were developed by other schools too. But in a perfect world, most of your team is built from the high school ranks, and you're just patching up holes and finding upgrades through the portal. That's what I hope Texas turns into, having that nice balance. I know Indiana's the craze and more than 60% of their team were transfer guys. I don't think that's something you need to do. I don't think every champion is going to be that transfer heavy moving forward. You still have to make sure you've got a coaching staff in place who can actually make guys out of high school into legitimate college football stars.
At one time, they were all in high school.
Yes. Although for some of these guys, that was like 8, 9, 10 years ago.
12 years ago, they were in high school, yes.
I mean, Texas, they just got a guy out of the transfer portal, Sterling Burkhalter, the new receiver from Wake Forest. That guy was in the same recruiting class as Bijan Robinson.
Wow.
Played, 3 years in the NFL. So, it's crazy. I'm not saying don't bring in those dudes, because if you can have grown men playing against 18, 19-year-olds, hey, you'll take that when you could get them. But being able to
I think it's still – I think they're on pace to do a great job once again on the defensive line. We'll see how the offensive line gels, because you're going to have a couple of new guys there. But as long as you got those 2 tackles, you should be able to you'll find a way to make it work. 2 tackles and a center, I'll find out how to make the guard situation work. I'll find guys to make that work, whether I have to develop them myself, I have to get them. They don't have to be great, but they can't be whiffers. You know what I'm saying?
I know what
we
you're
saw
saying.
Enough of that last year with young guys and just guys that had no experience at that level of football. It was tough on them. It was tough because you had a young quarterback who was inexperienced, who started to not only himself help out the offensive line by the way he got rid of the ball and the way he took off, but he needed to have the experience. But now, if you're trying to win a national championship, you need to have guys that are ready to go there at the guard position.
No doubt. All right, we'll get back into this good Texas football conversation. We'll talk about the offensive line. Obviously, some Texas hoops to dive into as well, with both the men and women taking down Oklahoma over the weekend. That was fun. Also, Texas baseball had its alumni game. We could get to some takeaways from that too. But before we get to anything else, Buck, how about some sponsor shout-outs?
Our friends, they've relaxed the back, embrace a holistic approach for a healthier lifestyle, and my back couldn't be happier. Their motto is live wellness. And folks, at both their stores. They've got adjustable mattress sets, Tempur-Pedic pillows, mattresses, of course, zero gravity recliners, human scale office chairs, desk, and all the accessories. And don't bypass the accessories, because not everybody has to have a chair or a recliner like BK. You can have some of the accessories that will help your lumbar area, your neck, your shoulders, your hips. They have it all at Relax the Back. Two great locations. One is at the Hill Country Galleria across from Whole Foods, and in North Austin at the Gateway Shopping Center across from the Container Store. Live pain-free like the Buck at Relax the Back.
Yes, indeed. Love Relax the Back. Also, speaking of relaxation, shout out to Altstadt Beer.
There you're talking. Now you're talking.
Come on, you got a case of the Mondays. That'll go away very quickly. Crack open an ice cold Altstadt beer. Hopefully, whatever you were doing this weekend, you accompanied your good times with some Altstadt beer. I know I did on Saturday night. Here's a sign that I'm getting old, Buck. And I know a lot of our audience doesn't want to hear this because they're older than me. But I went out with some friends. I got two couples I went out with on Saturday.
Oh, you were coupling, did you?
Girlfriend was doing her own thing. Girlfriend went to the KC and the Sunshine Band concert.
Nice.
Yeah, her parents were in town, and they went to that show, which I'm a little jealous I didn't get the ticket. By the way, KC just turned 75. He's put on a few LBs over the years. Just go ahead and say that.
Shake, shake, shake. Shake your booty. I think that's KC, yeah.
They got a ton of hits, dude.
Oh, yeah.
But I didn't get the invite to that. So I ended up just going out with a couple of couples and getting drinks and getting dinner. And one of them was like, "Oh, we got a sitter. We're good. We're going to be out all night." I'm like,
"Now
oh,
you're
great.
talking.
This is awesome." And like 9 o'clock, the sitter calls and like, "I can't get your baby to go to sleep." So they're like, "All right, we're packing it up. We're going home." And everybody just left at like 9 o'clock on a Saturday. I'm like, is that what having kids is all about? Like your big night out, you've got a babysitter, you think you're going to have a good time, and then you got to leave at 9 o'clock and go back home? Are you kidding me?
No, I just tell the babysitter where the Robitussin it is. Give that baby about 3 spoonfuls of that Robitussin. That baby will go to sleep.
Knock him out.
Sleep really good. Oh, here's some NyQuil. Go to sleep, baby.
Oh my gosh. So I had some Altstats, and then I was like, well, I'm not going home. Like, y'all are old, y'all are lame, you got kids. I don't. So I'm going out. So I went to Casino El Camino downtown, went to Dirty Sixth, got me some food, but more importantly, got me a few Altstadt beers.
Yeah, baby.
Out there on Dirty Sixth. So
are you allowed to mix those? Can you mix your out? I mean, if you're having a night, do you mix them? You're Hefeweizen. Do you mix that with your other beers that may be a little bit lighter?
Sure. I mean, this place had the Kolsch, they had the Heft, they had the lights. I mean, I was getting a hearty burger. So I was like, let me go with the light beer here. I don't need any more calories with my drinking here. But the beauty of the Altstadt Light is that, yeah, it does sacrifice on calories, but it does not sacrifice on taste. So I enjoyed some Altstadt this weekend. Again, whatever you have going on, obviously the Super Bowl coming up on Sunday, you're going to be having watch parties, or maybe you're just watching at home, whatever. The last chance to watch football this season, make sure you have the Altstadt beer ready to go. It's my choice. It should be yours as well. It's Altstadt beer. No impurities, no regrets.
All right. So my wife's telling, so of course I got FUBU, which no NBC still. They're still arguing since September. They've been lying and telling people. I haven't seen a game on NBC yet. So Super Bowl is on NBC. My wife says, do we work the deal where we get 7 days testing of something I don't know what it is, who has it, but should we do that and then bail out on them?
Yeah.
Seriously, is that what you do? I said, I'll ask BK. He'll just say yes or no. And that was pretty quick. Yeah, do it.
You can. I mean, look, I'd probably just go to a friend's house or a bar or some place that has the game.
I won't go to a party. I've been invited to I don't do Super Bowl parties.
What about like a restaurant or a bar with a TV?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna ask my wife to go with me to that, because generally, my Super Bowl parties have been me and my wife and our halftime show. We don't need to see halftime. We don't need to see halftime. We have our own halftime party.
I forgot about that. Yeah, what does your wife always make you deviled eggs at halftime or something?
Oh, we have the deviled egg crew come in. Yes.
So you're not going to be watching Bad Bunny this year.
No, I'm not watching Funny Bunny. No, probably not. I'm probably not doing that. I don't know.
Well, if that's your tradition, then yeah, get the 7-day free trial of whatever.
Yeah, you're right. You're
And
right.
then just make sure to cancel it. Otherwise, you're going to get charged, and then you're going to be paying for Fubu or Fubo, whatever it is.
Yeah, I
And
feel bad. I
whatever
feel bad doing that. I feel weird doing that. As if like, oh no, you're going to pay for a month of this. You're not. It sounds like 7 days turns into a month.
well, make sure that you know what you're signing up for. But a
Yes.
lot of it, yeah, you could cancel anytime, but it in fine print it says if you don't cancel by this day, you are going to get charged for a month. It's not like,
Okay.
oh, you could call them the eighth day and be like, well, I want to cancel it right now. Can you just charge me for a day? They're going to be like, nope, it was in the fine print. You should have read it.
You're
You're
playing
paying this
for a
entire
month.
month. So make sure. I mean, dude, like you could just get it on Friday and then cancel it on Monday. So you're not
That's what I'm
worried
saying.
about it.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Okay. I'm
So,
good.
yeah, Super Bowl on NBC this Sunday. Seahawks Patriots. We'll be talking about it, of course, throughout the week. But yeah, you can't miss that game. You can't do this
No.
job and not watch.
No.
Yeah, I mean,
No,
you can't be an
it's-
American citizen and not watch the
I
Super
know
Bowl.
some way, shape, or form. I will be watching that game. I may be on the patio at Jack Allen's outside in the corner, but I'll be watching the game. I just
You and
don't.
your wife are gonna be.
I'm not a partier when it comes to that day. You are, because you're such a social butterfly. You'll be at 5 different parties. You know, you'll be dancing with Bad Bunny. You'll be show them all the latest moves, but not the Buck. I'll be sitting in the corner, just looking over and peeking over. And I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want anybody asking me football questions on that day. You know, they start. You know, one of the reasons why I don't go to a lot of games at Texas is the fact that I want to go to there and I want people tapping me on the shoulder going, so what do you think that? What do you think about the running back coach? What do you think? I'm like, I want to watch the game. That's why I come home and I watch games so I can pee when I want, so I can watch the game, so I can rewind it, turn it again, see it again, and not have to ask a lot of questions. Those days are over with. And you know, when you go out, and as it is being in the media, and somebody starts talking sports to you, and they say to you, I know you don't want to talk about football, and you always lie to them. You always say, oh, sure, let's talk a little football. And it's like the last thing you want to do. But they're always kind enough to say, I know you've been doing this all day. I know you don't want to talk about sports, do you? And I always go, sure, let's go, let's talk about it. And I just straight up lie.
Yeah. When's the last time you've been to a sporting event in person?
Oh my God.
Like, I know it's been decades since you've been to a Longhorn football game, but what about just any sporting event?
Do my grandkids soccer, do they count? You
No.
know, all spring. Does my T-ball, does my every once a week T-ball and my granddaughter's soccer, that counts. I walk 2 miles to get to the event. I get exercise. That has to count for something.
That does not count for this exercise. I'm sure your grandkids and your
Wait
kids
till I show up in a scooter with my scooter on the back of the car, and I'm scooting down there with a cooler.
Oh no, you're not near scooter age, are you?
No, but I'm not far away from it.
Oh my gosh. No, that doesn't count. You don't know?
I don't remember. No.
Wow. It's crazy. And that's it. You've always said that.
I've only been to a handful of pro events in my life. Yeah. Even living in Boston, you know, I've probably gone to 2 games at Fenway Park. I've probably gone to more Celtics games than anything. I've never gone to a Patriot game when I was in New England. Never. And when I was in Illinois, what the hell was I going to go to? Going to go watch the Bears? Hell no.
Cubs, Bears, Blackhawks,
Bulls? No. And no.
All right. So the last
closest to a live event back in the day, you know, I would always go to the Big East games, the Big East tournament during recruiting when I was supposed to be recruiting.
At the Garden?
All the coaches would be at the Garden. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So you have not been to a Texas football game since Ricky broke the record, correct?
Correct.
That's crazy, man.
I was there that day, right below his mom.
Wow.
And have not gone since.
The biggest reason is because you don't want to be bothered while you're watching your football.
I really like to watch. When there's a game, I really like to watch the game. I really do.
Sure.
I don't have a lot of, you know, talking and stuff, you know, and for baseball games, my eyeballs would be stuck because baseball the ball moves so fast. And, you know, at a hockey game, you got to pay attention. There's not, you know, you can talk at hockey games. There's always those in between puck and cluck night or whatever it is. Some kid comes out and somebody's mom is in goal keep, you know, for an event that lasts about 5 minutes. That's okay. But And hockey may have been, I've been to Stars games, Texas Stars. Do
There
those
you go.
count?
Sure.
Yeah, Texas Stars. Yeah. I think Tom gave me some tickets. Tom McKay gave me some tickets to go to Texas Stars game. I went. Yeah, that was the last time I was at a professional event.
Okay. You know when that is? It sounds like a made-up story right now.
No, it was probably – I was at that other station, where the one where the lights went out.
Yeah.
And the doors got locked. Yeah. That was 3 years ago.
Okay. All right. That was less time than I thought, honestly. That's great.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Since they got rid of Luka, why should I go see a Mavs game anyway?
Yeah, exactly. That's the reason you're not going up to Dallas for Mavericks games.
Right.
You never went to a Mavs game when they had Luka, but you're so upset that they traded him 1 year ago yesterday, by the way.
What's crazy is I've never, it's been obviously since I coached at Texas that I've been inside the Cotton Bowl.
That's also crazy.
Yeah, there's a difference between being in the seats there and on the sideline there. That won't do me any good.
That is one of the more frustrating parts of going to the Texas OU game every year. And look, I wouldn't trade it for anything. The pros so heavily outweigh the cons that I will never stop going as long as I am able.
There's no doubt about that.
But
I gotta be around the event. I love being around the event.
Some of the chatter, some of the discourse in the stands, just the guys and gals who think they know everything there is to know, and they're just like yelling, "Hold!" on every single play, stuff like that. It's like
another year of John. Another year with John intercept here.
Right. Well, yeah. Look, I'll be here. I'll be there again in October, and I can't wait. But also, it's like patience. They're on your side. Don't get mad. It's friendly fire. Let them yell. Let them chant. Let them say whatever they want to say. But that is a real thing when you go do games. Is sometimes the folks around you are talkers or yellers, and you never know what you're going to get until you show up. But if you're at home,
I just talk to myself. I just scream at the TV. I can throw stuff. I can stomp and act like a fool at my own house when nobody's seeing me.
That's a real thing. That is a real thing. All right. Back to the Longhorn football conversation of the morning. But you talked about the offensive line. We're still waiting to see if Lawrence Seymour gets that extra year of eligibility approved by the NCAA. The transfer who signed with the Longhorns early last week from Western Kentucky, looking for a sixth year of college eligibility. All we've been told is that the school is confident, and he and his agent and his side are confident that this thing is going to be approved. But I don't know how the NC2A typically operates here. We may be dragging their feet a little bit. But, if Lawrence Seymour is a part of this offensive line, we spent the start of the show, talking about how Texas has made such a point of emphasis to build on a defensive line and how the offensive line needs to get up to that level. If Lawrence Seymour is able to come here, we're talking about a guy who was a second-team All-American, according to Phil Steele, and also according to the Football Writers Association of America. If you're able to add him with Trevor Gooseby, a future first-round pick at left tackle, with Melvin Ciani, a very good transfer from Wake Forest at right tackle, Brandon Baker, and then Connor Robertson, who's seemingly been at Texas forever. If that's your starting five on the offensive line, to me, that is good enough to have Texas competing for a championship.
Yes. Yeah. It's just from that point on, it's just depth that, those offensive linemen go down. So that it's depth and then having somebody, it's knock on wood and hoping that doesn't show up until a game where, where you can have a backup that can play a bunch of snaps for you, and that you don't have injuries that last for weeks on end. You just have a game injury and a guy's out for a couple series. He goes back, stub toe or whatever. That's what you're looking for. And that's a lot of knocking on wood, but those dudes go down a lot.
No doubt. And the good news is, look, Texas, the depth that they have, it's not a bunch of guys who have played a lot of college football. So unless you see guys out there on Saturdays in the fall.
They've been in this system, right?
Exactly. A lot of the guys have been a part of this program for 2, 3, and in some cases, there's guys going into year 4 who are projected to be first guys off the bench. Now, on one hand, it's like, well, they haven't played to this point. Are they any good? But on the other hand, you'd much rather, if you have to rely on somebody coming off the bench, you'd much rather rely on a guy who knows the system, who knows the playbook, who's put on college weight, been here in the strength and conditioning program for a few years. It's just a bigger, more experienced body versus having to turn to a true or redshirt freshman in that spot. So
No
that's
doubt.
where Texas is. I can't sit here and say, I'm super confident in the depth of that group because, again, a lot of guys haven't played significant snaps on this team, but it's a much better situation to be in with experience in your second unit versus just, okay, we literally just signed this kid. He got to campus in February, and now we just hope he'll be ready if his name is called.
Yeah, I presume that I shouldn't presume or assume, but these guys are getting better. The ones that have been here for 2 or 3 years. We talk about get these guys in the portal, go get these experienced, older type of guys. But I do like guys who have been in the system. They understand the system. They understand what they're trying to do in the run game, and you're not trying to get them guys going, in the fall. All of a sudden, you need to know how we run this play. There's a guy who's been running this for 3 years this way that understands what the coach is looking for. Those guys, those are the ones that need to develop. They need to be the ones that when it's time to go in the game, they go in the game and you don't miss a beat. Now you may miss a beat. You may miss a beat with athleticism and some other stuff, but they understand what the plays are all about.
Yeah, the development on the offensive line last year just was not good enough. And again, Texas bet on themselves, right? They went in-house to try to replace everything they lost from the 2024 team, and it didn't work. I mean, the Longhorns just did not get good, consistent production up front on the offensive line, especially at that left guard spot, right? I mean, there were some guys, it's like, okay, well, we've got DJ Campbell coming back. We've got Cole Hudson coming back. We've got Trevor Gooseby coming back. These are guys who have been here that we know at least a little bit about. Left guard was the position where it's like, okay, we're trying something new. Like, and Connor Stroh tried, and Neto Umeozulu tried, and Nick Brooks tried. And finally, week 8 of the year, Texas made the move, sending Cole Hudson from center to left guard and inserting Connor Robertson into the starting lineup at center. That's finally when you got some stability on the offensive line. But for way too much of last year, it was the guys that were supposed to be getting developed that you're talking about. Oh, I hope they're getting better. They didn't get better. They weren't ready for the grind of an SEC schedule, and it obviously cost Texas dearly.
Yeah, and with the insertion of these 2 running backs from the portal, that's going to help a lot. That's going to help guys who are still trying to develop. That's going to help them develop a lot quicker. When they make a mistake, some of these 2 backs will be able to make up for it.
100%. And also having a mobile quarterback can help mitigate.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. I mean, defenses have to be aware, okay, you may beat this guard, but you better stay in the right lane or you're going to have a quarterback that's going to shoot up the middle and be gone. So they're going to be defenses in the SEC. They're going to be creative against even this offensive line because of this particular quarterback.
No, for sure. That's the beauty of having a dual threat quarterback, though, right? Arch Manning can evade the pass rush. He can extend plays.
And
he can make guys
badly.
Yeah, he can make guys miss in the pocket, but also when he takes off and goes. I mean, he's got the ability to juke you in the open space. I mean, shoot, he's got the ability to run away from people. He can lower his shoulder and break a tackle if need be. Like having him in your backfield plus Raleek Brown and Hollywood Smothers, those 2 transfer running backs that you talked about. I mean, again, you want the offensive line to be elite. And the hope is Lawrence Seymour gets approved and he's a part of things. And you do have one of the better offensive lines in the country. But again, having dynamic weapons like that in the backfield can offset some potential shortcomings that you have up front. And Texas just didn't have those difference-making running backs in 2025 that we believe that they have.
Yeah, you really missed those guys in the pass game too, because a lot of those guys spent their time in the backfield because they had to help. Help was needed to protect the quarterback. But now you can release some of these guys. When you get confident in what you can do up front, you can release guys, and now it puts even more pressure on the defense.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see Screen Sarkisian make a return in 2026. I mean, last year was bubble screen Sarkisian. It was just, hey, Ryan Wingo, that's our screen offense. But 2 years ago, Jaden Blue and Trey Wisner both had more than 40 catches out of the backfield for Texas. And a lot of those were just on simple screen plays.
Yeah, Brooks used to catch all kinds of screen passes and take off.
Yeah, that was a big part of things in 2023 as well. And last year, I think Trey Wisner just got to 22 catches, and that was more far and away more than any other running back on this Texas roster. Last year, Hollywood Smothers coming in from NC State, he had 37 receptions for the Wolfpack. Raleek Brown coming in from Arizona State, 34 receptions for the Sun Devils last year. So these are guys, it's not like you're trying to fit a square peg in a round hole. And
no, these guys are used to catching the ball.
Yeah, two guys who have just been between the tackles, runners, and you hand the ball off 30 times, and that's all they can do. And you're asking them to try to catch passes for you. No, these are guys who are comfortable doing that. And again, you want that to be a weapon because those guys in the open space, plus Cam Coleman and Ryan Wingo and Emmett Mosley, we know what those dudes can do in the open field. Like, that's an offense that is going to be very, very difficult to stop.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, if they get up to snuff with the offense, as much faith as we've had in the defense, this thing will work out pretty well. And as you said, that with these two running backs, boy, you pick up an awful lot of offense that you were really missing last year.
Yeah, you definitely do. And it's got a chance to be special. It needs to be better. It just was way too inconsistent. I know it figured some things out down the stretch, which was great to see. Obviously, the Michigan game was very fun to watch. The A&M game was fun to watch. But don't forget, I mean, even though a lot of elements of this Texas football team look better in the second half of the year, there's no denying the Georgia game was still in the second half of the year.
Yes.
I know you don't have Georgia on your regular season schedule this fall, but still, that's a team more than likely, if you're going to win a conference or a national championship, that you were going to have to beat at some point. And it was still like the offense in that game, we scored just 10 points. Not that the defense was too much better, but you've got to find a way to have a consistent offense, not only against the weaker teams on your schedule, but against the elite of the elite. Obviously, you'll get a very strong test with the Buckeyes coming to town week 2.
One of the texters talks about your backups have to be real. Even if you got expansion of your roster, you're expecting your backups, like we saw on the defensive line when guys came in the game for a series or two, that they were really good and you didn't quite miss a beat with them. You got to expect that. You just can't. I say one thing about owing people favors, but you just can't bring anybody here. They have to have a purpose of coming here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it sounds like a favor, but they have to be, when they go into games, all of a sudden you can't go, boy, what a drop-off of this kid and what a drop-off of that kid. I mean, at that position, you can't have that if you're trying to win a national championship. You can't have a lot of drop-offs.
No, depth is not just about quantity. Anybody can have numbers, but you got to have quality depth too. Texas has had that at a lot of spots, but I mean, on the offensive line last year, forget depth. They didn't have a starting 5 that we felt good about. So, but yeah, looking at the offensive line depth, and I know you're talking about the whole team, and we could talk about the whole team, but just the first 3 guys off the bench. Again, this is assuming, maybe a bad idea to assume, but assuming Lawrence Seymour is a part of this roster. The first 3 guys off the bench, you've got Dylan Sikorsky, the Oregon State transfer, who started 6 games and played nearly 450 snaps in 2025. You've got Andre Kojo, who's a 4th-year offensive lineman. Remember, he was competing for a starting spot before he tore his ACL during fall camp last year.
Right. Yes, he was.
We'll see, obviously, coming off of a very serious knee injury and surgery, what he's going to be. But we're still talking about a 4th-year player who was in the mix for a starting role a year ago. And then Jaden Chapman, probably your 3rd offensive lineman off the bench, O-line 8, if you will. He's a 4th-year guy as well. So your first 3 dudes off the bench, Kojo and Chapman hadn't played in a ton of games, but 4th-year players, and then Sikorsky, a guy who started half a year at Oregon State last year, played a bunch of snaps. So that's the hope, is that it's in a much better spot. And on paper, it's in a much better spot than where it was on paper at this time last year.
There's no doubt.
So it can't be worse.
No.
It's kind of how it feels.
It can't. It can't. And as I said, the upgraded running back is going to that's just going to do wonders for the guys on the offensive line too, because there's going to be some whiffs here and there, but some of those guys are going to make up for it, I believe. So this will be a different looking offense, I believe, than it was last year. Now you have an experienced quarterback that's coming off of finishing the season really, really well. I mean, he will come in with all expectations obviously will be high. Hell, they were high when they shouldn't have been high. So he will be, and then he will have experience. And with 2 runners like that and an offensive line that can go, and all kinds of wide receivers.
Yeah, no, there's enough talent for this offense to be elite. Yes. And that's the expectation. Like, Texas averaged 30.5 points per game this past year, which was 27th in the country. If they are at that ranking and at that point total in 2026, it's going to be very disappointing. Because like you said, your quarterback has a lot more experience. You've got more talent at the skill positions. You feel like the offensive line is better. Like there is no reason why this offense shouldn't be closer to 35. I hope they're at least 35 points per game this year. Like Oregon averaged 35.4. They were 13th in the nation in scoring offense. I would like Texas to be somewhere in the top 13. I feel like they could be top 10. Top 5 shouldn't feel too out of the question. But I would like for them to be a 35-point per game offense this coming year. If they are, again, they've got a shot to win an SEC title and make another deep run in the college football playoff. If they're not, if we're talking about the same issues this fall as we did the past few months, then it's, I don't know. I mean, I like Steve Sarkisian's not on a hot seat at all, but you got to wonder about, okay, what's causing this offense not to work? And I know Longhorn fans, at least some Longhorn fans, have been advocating for a play caller to be hired for the offense. Maybe that happens. Maybe a different change gets made. I don't know. That's obviously doomsdayer here. I don't want to be that negative. But it's a big year for this offense, and it feels like there shouldn't be any excuses for it to not be one of the best units in the nation.
Oh, there's no – I mean, I would think this – when you say that, BK, I would think they'd be in top 10.
Yeah, I think so too. And look, I mean, you talked about this, and you've been critical of this, and rightfully so. I mean, Steve Sarkisian, when he made the move to get rid of Pete Kwiatkowski and bring back Will Muschamp, was talking about how he had to spend too much time focusing on the defense, and it was taking away from him being able to coach his offense, obviously his side of the football. So now, okay, you make the move. You bring in a defensive head coach. Will Muschamp. PK had never been a head coach before. Will Muschamp has been a head coach at a couple of different spots in the SEC. Now, the record not that great. We don't need to worry too much about that. But like you have hired a head coach to run your defense, which you are telling us is going to allow you to make your offense better. So now
the number one thing you do is you find out who your main guys are, who your depth guys are, and you fix the penalties.
Yeah, that would help.
You have to fix the penalties. You can't win a national championship with the penalties that you have. You can't get to the national championship with the type of penalties, the numbers that you have. That has to go away. That means you have to spend a lot of time, over and over. You jump, you had a hiccup. You have to fix those. You can't do that.
Right. Well, forget it.
We talk about it and we play with it a little bit, but as a coach, that stuff at practice, that has to be looked at. Forget the game tape. That has to be looked at from day one. When you hit spring, I mean, it's all a mental game for them with that stuff. That has to change.
Well, I mean, forget a championship. It cost Texas a playoff spot this past year.
Right.
I mean, it's some costly penalties. They lost the penalty battle at Ohio State. They had 10 penalties in the loss to Florida. Sorry to bring that up. That was an issue in the loss at Georgia as well. I mean, it was a problem in some of the wins too. Don't get me wrong. Obviously, the wins don't keep you out of the playoff. It's the losses that do. And yeah, 10 penalties in the swamp. Again, some costly ones against Ohio State and Georgia. You can't shoot yourself in the foot as often as Texas did and even get into the field of 12, let alone do what you're talking about and be a national championship winning team.
Yeah, I mean, I expect that will be one of his first 2 or 3 priorities that now that he's going to spend more time with the offense, has to get done. And he's going to let his staff know he's going to be on everybody's ass about that. Because if people are going to be on his ass about having to get rid of some of these penalties, he's going to be talking to his staff. Well, some of that's going to be on you too. You over there and you over there and you over there. All of you are going to be, we're all in this one together right here.
Virus.
Yes. The virus has to be stopped.
The virus has to be stopped. It was stopped for Texas men's basketball. We'll get to that in a second. Hour 2 coming up. Texas men's and women's basketball both picking up huge wins over OU over the weekend. More Longhorn football conversation, plus some other storylines from the world of sports. But before we go any further, Buck, how about some more sponsor shout-outs?
Shout out our friends over at Sue Patrick with the incredible selection of Texas Longhorn apparel. Of course, they've got all the accessories, the collectibles, and they've got tons of Texas-themed gifts and items, books, and a wide variety of men's and women's clothing. Check it out. Check it out. Hats galore over there. Sue Patrick offers free shipping on online orders, $59 or more, free curbside pickup. And, folks, there are plenty of parking spaces. Very nice, SEC there. Plenty of parking spaces at 5222 Burnett Road. Go over and say hello to Jay. And don't forget the Jelly Cats. Jelly Cats are available to you. Once again, 50 years of serving Central Texas. Folks, nobody does it better than our friends over at Sue Patrick. For more information, go to SuePatrick.com.
Love Sue Patrick. And we got to get out there and do a live broadcast at Sue
Heck
Patrick.
yeah, man.
I will actually be there when the store is open. I know Jay and the gang will appreciate that. I love our friends at Sue Patrick. Also love our friends at Audiovisual Consultations. Oh, man, Tom McKay. Talk about loyalty. This guy is as loyal as they come. He's become a great friend of mine over the years, and he is loyal to everything that we do, but he's also loyal to the Central Texas community as well. His business has been around since 1988, coming up on 40 years here in Central Texas of hooking people up with the best in audio, video, automation systems. If you want to upgrade your home TV setup, what a weekend we have coming up. Obviously, Super Bowl 60. But the Olympics start on Friday, Buck.
Yeah, man. Get ready.
Golf season is back.
Figure skating is just around the corner, baby.
Figure skating, if you're like the Buck and you want to lock in on some figure skating, how about a giant projection screen in a home theater room to watch those triple pike, tuck, loop, axles,
There
whatever.
you go. There you go.
I think those are real terms. AV consultations. Hey, Texas baseball season around the corner, Texas softball season right around the corner. Whatever you want to watch, make your home TV setup better for friends, for family, for yourself with audio-visual consultations. If you want the 4-screen man cave like I have, if you want the giant 85-inch screen like the Buck has, home theater rooms, something for your patio setup, AV Consultations can do it all. All you have to do is give them a call, and Tom McKay and his crew will bring everything to you. 512-255-8678. You can find out more online, avconsultations.com.
My good friends over at Woods Comfort Systems. Now, all of a sudden, you've had that heater cranking up. Now, tomorrow it could be close to 70 degrees. And then when that happens, you may need a little bit of air conditioning. And you want to make sure that's working properly. But we're still in winter. I'm going to let you know when spring and summer's here. But we're still a little bit in winter. So right now it's about that heater coming on because these mornings have been cold. But boy, oh boy, tomorrow close to 70 degrees. Tomorrow afternoon it's going to be beautiful. And you want to make sure your air conditioning system is working properly. Call in our friends at Woods Comfort Systems. Not only do they do air conditioning and heating, folks, trust them to your plumbing. If you have a problem inside or outside, call our friends at Woods Comfort Systems. Their technicians will get out there to you. They'll be in and then out of your home, and everything will be just fixed the way you want it to be. And they've been doing, as I said, close to 70 years in Central Texas. It's Woods Comfort Systems, and nobody does it better.
WoodsComfortSystems.com, 512-842-5066, the phone number to call to get a hold of them. Also, a quick shout out to CentexTickets.com if you're looking for any tickets. Hey, 2 home games for the Texas men's basketball team. Oh my gosh, Buck. This Thursday, Kim Mulkey comes to town.
Yes.
Yeah, big games for the men and women at the Mood. Again, softball season this weekend, baseball season next weekend. If you want to be at any of those games, Centex Tickets has you covered. Don't forget the promo code Centex10. You type that in at checkout, you're going to get 10% off of any ticket purchase. Longhorn games, concerts, comedy shows, festivals, anything coming to Central Texas. Only one place you need to go to find your tickets. That is CentexTickets.com.
By the way, when she comes on Thursday, don't worry about being distracted. All eyes will be on her. That's right. Your eyes will be on her too, of course.
I might have to go.
But don't let her catch you watching her.
So we were talking earlier, Buck. I mean, it's been years, plural, since you've been to any sporting event in person. It's been even longer since you've been to a Longhorn game in person. This Thursday night at the Moody Center, your woman crush, Kim Mulkey, will be there. Not only is she going to be there, I mean, it's a top 5 matchup in women's college basketball. Texas is looking to avenge one of its 2 losses this season. So it's a huge game, and your girl's going to be in town. We got to get you there.
I know. I just need – will Waymo come out here?
No, I don't think Waymo's coming. You have a car. You love driving.
I know.
You like driving more than anybody I know.
I need to see her. She needs to, not her, she needs to see me. That's what it is.
Well, she's not going out to Dripping Springs, I can tell you that.
Maybe pregame meal out at Dripping.
I don't know. You're
Maybe I
gonna
can
get
get
her
over at Hat Creek Burger Company. How about
there.
that?
Maybe if you go to like Schultz Garden or somewhere by the arena, maybe you'll see her there. But I don't think she's
She's
gonna
not
be
coming
out
this
in
far.
the dirty drip.
Come on. Come on, Timothy. She needs to come out here. She needs to come out and wear her bell bottoms. She is going to be sparkly on Thursday. I guarantee you.
I don't know, she's going to be pulling out all the stops. Huge
Of
matchup,
course.
nationally televised game. I mean,
Yes.
she knows when the games are on TV.
Of
She
course she
always
does.
she always dresses to impress, but for the big games, she pulls out all the stops.
Bell bottoms, of course.
And I think that'll be happening on Thursday. So we got to get you there.
Let me give it a shot.
Yeah. All right. But that's coming up. What about over the weekend, Buck? What a weekend it was. Look, beating Oklahoma once is fun. Beating
Oh, yeah.
Oklahoma 2 times in 2 days. Does it
That
get
was
better than
great.
that? We'll go back to Saturday. Start with the men's team. Texas overcoming a 14-point first half deficit.
By the way, I don't even know how they got to let that happen to them.
Yeah, I mean, it was an ugly start. There's no doubt, and felt like a kind of a continuation of the way the second half went at Auburn and in the Longhorns' most previous game. And it was ugly. I mean, offensively, Texas started 3 of 14. They couldn't get stops defensively. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is not a game that we need to be losing right now. And then basically from that moment on, Texas dominated the rest of the way.
Dude, that Oklahoma team may be the worst defensive team I've ever seen. I mean, I don't know how. That's what I'm saying. How did they get up on Texas? Because they can't stop anybody.
Well, 79 points. I mean, Texas has scored more than that in a lot of their SEC games this year. I will say that. And Oklahoma, look, I hope this doesn't sound like I'm complimenting Oklahoma because that's sure as heck not what I ever want to do. But they're not as bad as their record indicates.
Oh, you sound like the announcers on the game. They always said, well, they don't lose games. I'm like, they don't?
Well,
Do
they do lose games. They beat themselves. That's the problem. And I mean, Oklahoma was favored in that game on Saturday. It's not like Sooner fans or the TV broadcasters make the lines in Vegas. OU was favored on Saturday because they've been close. They almost beat Arkansas last week. They should have beat Mizzou on the road last weekend. Like, it's not like they're getting blown out in these games. So I didn't expect
they lose some close games.
I didn't like a lot of Longhorn fans, I think, just looked at, OU's 1-7 in the SEC. This is a game we better win by 30. It's like, no, if you've actually watched Oklahoma play, like they're close in these games. They're not winning, but it's not like it's the middle school kids against college kids here.
No, I just watched as they try to defend, in that second half, and I'm like, they're not even close. I know Texas, their head coach will get on their guys about not moving their feet, fouling the crap out of people. But my God, the Oklahoma kids, their defense, BK, is pitiful in the second half.
Oh, it was. I mean, look, Texas shot 72% from the floor in the second half. And the last 30 minutes of the game, so the last half of the first half plus the second half, Texas shot 77%.
Oh, my God. I'm like, how about trying to defend it all? And Mark only ended up with like 4 points.
Right. Yeah. I mean, look, we know the Longhorns have an efficient offense. That is definitely the strength of this team. But yeah, they were getting a lot of clean looks, especially as the game went along. And they put that slow start behind them very, very quickly.
Yes, they did.
And they outscored the Sooners 49-36 in the second half. And yeah, it's just, I mean, Texas controlled the game. And in the last few minutes, you kind of knew that Texas was going to win. And it could not have been more of a 180 from the way the game started to the way the game finished. And it's an important win for Texas. Obviously, the Longhorns right now on the NCAA tournament bubble. Calendar just flipped over to February. And there's still a number of games left to be played, but obviously the importance of each game goes up seemingly by the day. So finding a way, as of right now, that is a quadrant 1 win for Texas. Now, if Oklahoma continues to slide the way that they have been, it'll fall to a quadrant 2. But that is a solid win in the eyes of the NCAA tournament committee. And more so, it's you're avoiding a loss to the last place team in your conference.
Oh, you couldn't afford to lose to them. That's why when they were down 14, I'm like, oh, they're not going to lose to this group, are they? And then Oklahoma refused to go around screens. They went behind the screen, and then Texas was getting open shots. It didn't matter. It wasn't all 3-pointers. They were getting open looks. Anytime Oklahoma in the second half got screened, BK, they refused to fight over the top. They were like, no, I think I'll go around the back. I'm not going to do this. I don't want to do this. Boy, their coach was mad.
Yeah, understandably so. I mean, Texas shot 60% as a
Man,
team for the entire ball game. Again, they started 3 of 14 and still ended up going
no
60%.
kidding.
5 Longhorns in double figures. Shout out to Simeon Wilcher, maybe his best game
Yes.
as a Longhorn. We've been asking for more production from the bench, and Simeon Wilcher, 10 points, 2 assists, 0 turnovers, hit a couple of big threes in the second half while the game was still very much in question. That
Yeah,
was
and
really, really
everyone he took, I was going, don't take it. No, don't do it.
yeah, it's one of those, no, no, no. Yes, great shot.
Yeah.
Great
Yes.
shot. Wilcher had scored, I think, 6 total points in his previous 5 games, and he had 10 against Oklahoma.
Maybe this
So
does something. Maybe this is the one he needed.
I hope so. I hope so. Cam Heidi was also great. I know he's
Oh, he was
technically
fantastic.
not a bench guy, but he's one of those other guys. More often than not, Swain, Matas, Pope, and Mark, like those are the guys that carry the water for this team. It's can
Yes.
you get something from Cam Heidi, Kendall Weaver, Sim Wilcher, Lucina Traore, and Heidi and Wilcher, those 2 guys combined for 23 on
Yes.
Saturday. Like that makes this team, I know Oklahoma's bad. I'm not sitting here telling you that, oh, watch out for Texas, but that makes this team a heck of a lot tougher to defend when they're getting more from than just those 4.
There's no doubt. There's no doubt. And I thought ball movement in the second half was fantastic again. As I said, there was nobody defending you. So the ball, you could just go around a screen and nobody was going to chase you. So that was good. And the big guy is the big guy. Sometimes you're going to get something good from him. Sometimes you're not going to get, but he'll battle in there.
Yeah.
He takes up a lot of space.
Yeah. I mean, Vocatitis only played 24 minutes in this game,
Yeah.
but 14 points, 7 of 9 shooting. I mean, Texas didn't really have him in the rotation super late. I mean, Kendall Weaver and Sim Wilcher were getting a lot of big minutes in the second half. It was
Yeah, they didn't go big.
Sean Miller kind of riding the hot hand, and he's like, okay, well, this group of 5 is playing well. So just because you started this game for us, like, we're not going to put you in. We're not going to mess with the rhythm that we have going on.
Right.
And it was a great feel for the game, for the coach. By the way, win number 500 of Sean Miller's career. Congrats to him on that. Very exciting. But, Buck, we're bearing the lead here, sir. We're bearing the lead. We've talked about this game for a few minutes now. The best part of Texas beating Oklahoma, the virus did not travel.
I know. We didn't even say anything about it. I wasn't going to say no.
They only had 11 fouls total.
Yes, sir.
That's a season low, not just SEC low. That is a season low for Texas, and they did it on the road in a rivalry game.
And some pretty good athletes. Like I said, like you said, Oklahoma, as bad as they are, they got some decent athletes on their team. So they didn't hack them. They didn't grab them. They really moved their feet on defense on Saturday. That was good to see.
That was great to see. Yeah, Texas
No
only gave up
virus.
16 free throws against OU after giving up 39 to Auburn in the previous game. Of course, it was 35 to Kentucky that inspired the infamous yet so famous Sean Miller fouling virus rant.
Yes.
And it's clearly been a point of emphasis for this coaching staff and for this team to try to do a better job of defending without fouling. And they did that. And that was a huge part of why the Longhorns were able to win this game. So I'm thrilled with the offense. Don't get me wrong, 60% shooting and the way Texas moved the ball around in the second half, like you were talking about, that's all great. But we know the offense is good. The defense is the thing that's been holding this team back. And look, there are a lot better teams on Texas's schedule ahead than Oklahoma. But if they could be at least closer to the 11 fouls compared to where they were in the Auburn and Kentucky games, then they've got a shot to win some games here in the second half of SEC play.
Or their fans cannot be happy with their coach. He doesn't beat Texas.
No.
I mean, you're talking about playing your rival and beating them every once in a while. It's few and far between. It's like none and far between.
Texas has won 9 of the last 10 against
Wow.
OU, and they've won 7 straight in Norman, Buck.
Yeah, that can't sit well with your fans.
No, I'm a little surprised, and I know OU fans were kind of hoping for a coaching change after last season. Now, OU did make the tournament a year ago, but there were still some fans who were like, this just isn't good enough. It feels like we're treading water here. And now I don't think there's a coach on a hotter seat in the sport than Porter Moser at OU, which is disappointing because I would like to advocate for a lifetime contract for him. Like I want people to be, I want people to be successful. I don't want anyone getting fired. I would like Porter Moser to be the head coach of Oklahoma men's basketball for the rest of his life.
And the same with the football coach.
That'd be fine. Yeah, Brent Venables, that's fine too. I think he's a little better than Porter Moser, but has struggled beating Texas. And Porter Moser has really struggled beating Texas.
Wow.
So, look, beating your biggest rival is great, but going there, Buck,
I know.
on the road, 7 years in a row, and just leaving with a victory, get horns down. They're talking smack the entire game, and then you get to shut up those Sooner fans.
7 in a row?
7 straight. I'm telling you, lifetime contract for Porter Moser. Let's make it happen. I will donate to the cause.
That is crazy. That's crazy. That'll get your fan base, man. I thought you gathered a couple people back. You're back in the 20s. You got about 20 or 30. You're not quite at 30, but you're getting there. You're moving there. One more victory ought to get you at least 30 members of your group.
That'd be great. That'd be great. And there's some winnable games coming up for Texas. Before we talk about what's next, though, how about Sean Miller and his post-game press conference, his opening statement following the Longhorns' 10-point victory against OU?
We're getting to that point in the season where we have a lot of games behind us and a lot of experience. And I would say that, today was one of our top moments as a team. And I say that because, we had a really difficult turnaround. We played, I thought, a very hard-fought game at Auburn in which our team did a lot of things well. And then, obviously, in the second half, Auburn really had a great second half. We had no answer for them. And, you leave that game, you get back to Austin very, very late, and knowing you have a quick turnaround playing against the Oklahoma team that we have a lot of respect for based on so many tough games they've been in. And, a couple plays go the other way, they're in a different position. So we knew we were going to get a desperate team in Oklahoma-Texas rivalry. But there's only so much you can do. 1 o'clock game on a quick turnaround. I thought our preparation was really good. I thought our guys really came into today's game focused. I know we didn't get off to a good start, but we put that behind us and ended up having a great performance, especially in the second half. So hard-fought SEC road game for us. Very, very proud of our group.
Yeah, they don't seem to let that, lately they don't seem to let these first halves, if they're not firing on all cylinders, linger around into the second half. It's not like they take another 8 minutes to get cranked up. They kind of get it going right away when they come out of the locker room, which is good to see.
Yeah, you're right. They had that stretch. There were like the A&M game, the Kentucky game, where they were getting off to bad starts in the second half.
Right.
But, obviously not the case against Oklahoma. That was definitely not the case in the big win over Georgia the previous weekend, the blowout here in Austin. So, yeah, it's nice to see. It's definitely nice to see, and it feels like this group's starting to figure some things out. And they are in a very favorable part of their schedule. And again, the SEC is not as good or as deep this year as it was last year. I mean, last year was the best conference in the history of college basketball. 14 of the 16 teams made the NCAA tournament. That's not going to be the case this year. There's just not as many good teams. And also, there's no super dominant team atop this league right now. But Texas, Buck, they are in this 5-game stretch against teams that probably aren't going to be dancing come March. Obviously, the first game was Oklahoma. Okay, you start 1-0. You love that. This week, you've got 2 home games against South Carolina tomorrow, and then Ole Miss on Saturday. You're going to be favored, not like 1 or 2 point favorites. You're going to be favored to win those games. Both of those games are here in Austin. Those are quadrant 3 games. You would like to really not lose to either of those teams. I know Saturday with Chris Beard coming to town is going to be a little hectic, but those are games you would like to win. And then next week, you're at Missouri and then home against LSU. On the road, Mizzou not going to be easy, but those are 5 games that Texas can definitely win. If they go 5-0 in that stretch,
those are big games.
And they'll be 8-5 in SEC play. We've talked about like 9-9, right? 9 wins kind of being that magic number to feel good about making the tournament. If you go 5-0 in this stretch, which a lot of work left to be done, you're at 8 wins already. You're going to be sitting very, very pretty in terms of just getting into the tournament, which is obviously where you'd like to be.
Yeah, and then you've got some players that are starting. It looks like they're starting to find their way. I tell you what I liked about Pope in that game, BK. He didn't, when they were struggling, in that first half. When he got in the second half, he didn't come in and take outrageous shots. I mean, I've seen him come off the bench when they sit him down for a while when he's not hot immediately, and he goes to set. He comes back in the game and he'll fire one up, and you're like, oh my God, you're really not going to do this, are you? I thought he was really patient in the way he played the game.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. They weren't jacking up shots late in the shot clock. It felt like the second half against Auburn, there were a lot of just dead possessions where guys were dribbling a lot. Nothing was opening up. And all of a sudden, there's 3 seconds left on the shot clock. We just got to heave and hope. And it felt like, the ball movement was really good. Texas was active. The pick and roll game was successful. And it was everybody. It was contributions from everybody. Obviously, Dalen Swain continues to be the straw that stirs the drink. He's so good. He is so good. I can enjoy him while you have him, Longhorn fans, because I know Dalen Swain has an extra year of eligibility beyond this one, but I don't think he's going to be using it. But if he could help carry Texas to the NCAA tournament, then I think that's a trade that I'll be willing to make. But that guy, first team All-SEC, Dalen Swain better be on that team when the year's all said and done.
He's very good. Mark needs to get his act together a little bit. He has – he's fired up a couple shots there the game before, but he is now. I can't have 4. You can't have 4 points from that dude.
It's 2 games in a row where Tremont Mark has had just 4 points. So again, it didn't cost Texas against OU. It did a little bit against Auburn. But yeah, Tremont Mark, 6-year senior, one of your best players. He was off to a very good start in SEC play, and like at times last year, he was too up and down. I thought during league play. I was kind of hoping, all right, year 2 at Texas and last year, contract year, if you will, for him to prove that he's good enough to play professionally somewhere. I was hoping it would all come together. And again, at times it looks like it has, but the last 2 games, not the case. And you'd like to obviously get some more consistency from Tremont Mark to go along with the other guys.
Yeah, he's been hitting that mid-range jumper and even some 3-point shots that now it's almost like he's hesitant going to the basket, where he just overpowers guy with his athleticism. And the last 2 games has been just kind of, no, I think I'm going to settle for a little jumper here or there. But he didn't really shoot that much in the game. He really wasn't that active.
No, only 6 shots for Tremont Mark in 23 minutes. 0 of 3 from beyond the arc, 2 of 6 from the floor.
Yeah.
His best game, but hey, that's all right. His teammates picked him up, and there are times this year where Tremont Mark has been maybe the best player for Texas, at least one of the best players for Texas.
Sure.
You're going to need him to have some performances like that in the second half of this season. But nice win for the Horns. Congrats to Sean Miller. Here's one more bit of sound from the coach during his post-game press conference. Sean Miller was asked about winning his 500th game of his coaching career.
It's an interesting journey. When you start off as a coach, you think about how you want it to go, and oftentimes it doesn't go that way. I've been blessed to be at some great places, none greater than the current place I'm at, University of Texas. The coaches and the players and the teams that I've had, this is year 21 for me. Man, I think about all of them, and they've all meant a lot to me, and they were all a huge part of that journey. But I will tell you, I'm blessed to have this opportunity at Texas, and is, I think, acknowledging 500, and I will acknowledge it. I'm more excited about building this program and what's to come. I think it's an amazing opportunity for someone like myself, and we have to get the job done. But I'm blessed to be at Texas and equally excited about the 500th win coming in a setting like this, which was a very meaningful game for our team.
No doubt. What a way to do it.
That's a team first guy right there, right? There wasn't a lot of, here's my story, and thank you for asking about me. Let me tell you about everything that I've gone through in the past to get here. This was like, it's great. It's a cool milestone, great accomplishment. I'm very proud of it. But, man, I'm lucky. I'm fortunate to be the head coach at the University of Texas, and now we've got to win. Like, we got to make this right. We got to make this work. And it's clear he's had that mindset from day one. But it's nice in that spot. It's like, this win's great for me, but I'm pretty freaking pumped that
pretty good milestone. Good milestone for a guy not to be talking about himself a little bit.
Right. And it's like, well, I'm pretty freaking pumped that we were able to go on the road and beat Oklahoma. Like, it's a big win for our NCAA tournament hopes, big win for what we're trying to build here. And that was my first game against our biggest rival, and I was able to win. So thank y'all.
And to keep that streak going.
Yeah. Love Sean Miller. Congrats to him. By the way, only 450 of those wins are recognized by the NC2A, or the scandal that happened at Arizona that cost him his gig.
Right.
So we don't really like to acknowledge the NCAA on this show. So we're going to go with 500.
500 sounds good to me.
It's a pretty good number right there. I guess either way, it's a milestone. It's either 450 or 500, but
yeah, no doubt.
I'm going with 500 for Coach Miller, and hopefully a lot more coming in his future at Texas.
Well, we know this. The ladies didn't mess around.
Yeah, so that was Saturday, right? If beating Oklahoma once over the weekend wasn't good enough, how about twice in as many days as here in Austin, the Texas women's team taking down at number 10 Oklahoma, 78-70, the final score from the Moody Center. How about 38 straight home wins for Vic Schaefer and company, Buck?
That is incredible.
Great crowd on hand. College game day was there before the game. Good turnout for that. And then a sellout crowd, more than 10K for the actual game. It was loud in that place.
It was loud on TV.
It was loud on TV. Yeah, I guess I wasn't at that place. I'm basing it off of TV. It sounded loud. I had to like turn it down a little bit at times. I'm like, dang. So the fans showed up and showed out. It was a wire-to-wire win for Texas. The first half was dominant. I was kind of hoping the second half would be a little more dominant. And I know Vic
you were expecting a 25-point win, weren't you?
Oh, considering they were up by as many as 21 in the first half, I was like, let's get this to 30, maybe 40. Well, I stopped there. Oklahoma, a little pesky, if you will.
Yeah, they were.
Texas was able to keep them within like 9 to 12. It never got to a point where you were worried that the Longhorns were going to lose.
Not at all.
But yeah, that first half, obviously Texas was able to ride that to a victory, and another top 10 win for Vic Schaefer and a complete performance by this Texas women's squad.
This will be a heck of a game on Thursday, because I watch LSU play over the weekend too. They're pretty good.
Oh, they are very good.
Man.
Obviously, they got to Texas the first time, and they went on the road and beat South Carolina. I think that game was at South Carolina, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, they never lose in Columbia. Texas found that out a couple weeks ago, and Kim Mulkey's squad in overtime went on the road and beat South Carolina. So
beat those dudes.
Yeah, I think I got that right. Maybe I'm making that up. I might be looking at the wrong thing here. You watched the game. Who did they play? Was it South Carolina?
Yeah, it was South Carolina.
Okay.
I mean, this weekend?
Yeah.
I may have been Vandy.
Okay, I might have been looking at the men's team then. Disregard everything I said. I'm relying on you since you watched.
Yeah, since I've had to watch Kim.
LSU women's basketball. Oh no, they beat Alabama by 40 points yesterday.
It was a crushing win.
Yeah, okay.
You were thinking of the colors of the South Carolina colors.
Well, I was looking at the men's team is what it was. LSU beat South Carolina on the road in men's basketball, which not nearly as impressive as an accomplishment.
No, she was in gold pants again.
Oh boy. I didn't pull out the fit. I didn't get a picture of her. Probably dressed better than some of the people who were at the Grammys last night. I can tell you that.
I did not get a chance to watch that. I was watching a Western and Rio Bravo with John Wayne.
How many times have you seen that?
I'm going to say 3, maybe.
Okay.
I believe I've seen it 3 times.
Yeah, I was not watching the Grammys either, but I did see some of the outfits made their way to my social media timelines.
Oh, yes, they get to you on social media.
We'll show some of these before we wrap things up.
Some snap face.
A couple of snap faces, face
chat. Face chat. I love face chat.
Yeah.
That's what I do with my grandkids. I go face chat.
You go face chat your grandkids. FaceTime, what you're looking for?
Same. I chat.
Okay. Texas women, by the way, like we talked about the Texas men being in a pretty easy part of their schedule, if there's such a thing. The Texas women are in a very difficult part of their schedule because that was the first of 5 against ranked opponents in a row. So obviously LSU coming to town on Thursday, but it doesn't stop there. So this is a crucial stretch for Texas to try to make a run at an SEC title, to try to once again be a 1 seed in the NCAA tournament. Obviously a nice start taking down Oklahoma, but it doesn't get any easier. Obviously LSU coming to town on Thursday. Going to need another great crowd on hand for that.
Awesome.
Real quick, a little bit of sound from Vic Schaefer, head coach of the Texas women's basketball team, talking about his squad's performance in the win over Oklahoma.
We're excited about the win. I'm proud of these kids. It's a tough win. What a great environment today. 10,000 over 10,000 people. What a great atmosphere that they provided both these teams, and it was great for TV, I'm sure. So really appreciate all that, and again, proud of my kids, man. They earned a tough victory today.
Yeah, they got after them from the get-go.
Yeah, great first half for Texas. And again, led by as many as 21 in the first half, led by 16 at halftime. And not as smooth sailing in the second half, but still the Longhorns.
Like you said, they were pesky. Oklahoma was pesky. They didn't give up. They didn't give up at all.
No, they did not. They did not. And they cut into the lead a little bit. But again, wire-to-wire victory for Texas. Justice Carlton, 16. Madison Booker, 16. Aaliyah Crump has been great since returning from injury. 12 points for her off the bench. It was a total team effort for Texas. And a nice win over the hated Oklahoma.
I love Madison, but I love when she gets that jumper, her baseline jumper. She rises over the top. I think
very
it's
efficient.
Now.
Yeah, 7 of 10 shooting too. I mean, not high volume in terms of scoring. She's had better scoring outputs, but very efficient play from her on both ends of the floor. Also 0 turnovers, I think, for Madison Booker, which is really cool to see. 5 assists as well.
The national championship softball team, does they play this weekend coming up?
They do.
Is that the opener? That thing will be packed.
Yeah, rightfully so. And they'll be.
I hope the weather is great for them.
Their first game, well, they won't be here this weekend. Their first games are at the UTSA Invitational in San Antonio.
Oh.
So their first home game is not until next week, but their first game this season is Friday against Nebraska.
I want that weather to be nice.
Yeah, so they'll be playing at Roadrunner Field to open up the year, and then their first games at McCombs Field will be, I guess, next Thursday against Abilene Christian. They'll play Ohio State. A lot of Texas-Ohio State games this year, apparently.
Nice.
So there you go. There's Texas basketball. The men's and the women's taking care of business against Oklahoma. A couple of nice Red River wins for the Horns. All right.
Like that 2 in the weekend. That feels good.
I'm telling you, back-to-back days. Does it get better than that? Are they going to beat us in anything?
No.
Couldn't do it in football. Didn't do it in men's or women's basketball. Maybe the diamond sports? Texas did knock OU out of the Women's College World Series this past year. So I don't know if they got us there. Baseball?
I expect they'll be pretty good in softball again.
Oh, yeah, they are. I mean, it's Texas, Texas Tech, and Oklahoma. Those are like your preseason top 3. Those were the 3 best teams, the teams that made the deepest runs in the tournament this past year. Those are your preseason top 3 in college softball again. So there will be some good battles between the 2 squads. But to this point, I mean, Texas volleyball beat Oklahoma this year. It's had the Sooners number. That's not a bad thing at all. Hope that continues.
Absolutely, man.
Let's take your thoughts on everything we're talking about this morning. Appreciate y'all hanging out with us. Again, the exciting news from earlier, we mentioned it off the top. It's now been posted to social media as well. Buck, we got press releases now.
Nice.
We're big time. We've made it in this world.
Dude, we've been doing this for a long time. This isn't like our first rodeo. This is now, we're like veterans in this media stuff now. Only one thing missing: women in radio nominations.
Oh, the awards.
Yes, that's the award.
Is that organization still around?
I'm going to say yes, it is around.
What was it?
They
Austin?
may not call it women. They may call it females in media or something. I don't want to get I don't want to offend anyone.
Yeah, you do a good job of that. AWM, the Austin Women in Media.
Yes.
That's what it was. Now, were you ever nominated back in the day?
No.
I find that hard to believe.
I do too. I mean, all these years, all the things I do for women,
right?
All the wonderful things I've done for women and continue to do.
Yes, how nice you are and how little you criticize or talk about other people. I mean, it's stunning that you have not gotten an award like that.
I don't do anything to anybody that I wouldn't do to myself. That doesn't sound right either, does it? That sounds horrible. That sounds a little testy there.
Yeah. Would you say anything about anybody that you don't say about yourself?
My mother said, if you don't have anything nice to say about somebody, then don't say anything nice.
Don't say anything nice. Oh, man. All right. That's our goal for this show. We got to get our audience to help us out with that. We need
Yes.
to be nominated for an award. I don't care what the award is. Maybe there's like a most misogynistic show award, part of the Austin Alliance of Women in Media or whatever it is. I
Oh,
already
yeah.
forgot the name. That's not helping our chances
By the
very
way,
much.
I've gone to that. I have gone to that event when it first came out. I attended.
Really?
Yes, I did. As a
Like,
part of,
were you
yes, I did.
protesting or were you actually there?
I was not getting pepper sprayed outside of the event. No, I was actually in there because we had some ladies at the radio station who are involved in winning something. So I went on their behalf to support them because I'm an incredible supporter.
Very nice of you. Oh, the ladies were nominated for the Ladies Awards.
Yes, yes,
Seems a little fishy here, don't you think?
kind of. But I didn't say anything. I'm like, and of course, every year Bobby Bones. Oh, they just love their Bobby. Bobby Bones was won this thing like 50 times. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's what he does. He's won a lot of awards over the years.
Yes.
That
Yes.
guy.
Oh
man.
Yes.
Yeah, the news at the start of the show, we have partnered with 1300 The Zone and iHeartMedia, and this show will be broadcasted on The Zone and the free iHeartRadio app every weekday afternoon from 5 to 7. Of course, we are still live from 9 to 11, new show time. Buck and I will be here live doing the same show we've always done, 2 hours every single day. So check us out. You've got a bunch of different ways you can catch the show. Again, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch. Follow along on social media. And, of course, you can catch us, too, on your drive home weekday afternoons from 5 to 7. We're very, very excited about these changes. We're going to have some great guests joining us often on this show. Of course, we're opening up the phone lines to you people as well. If you want to chime in, feel free. The Coda text line is sticking around. Still plenty of ways for y'all to get involved in the show. But we are expanding our reach with this new partnership. And again, we are incredibly excited about it and incredibly grateful to everybody who has supported us along this journey. All right, Buck, before we dive into some of the sports, and we'll let you hear from Punxsutawney Phil. I guess it was him talking. I don't know who it was.
It was one of those guys in the top hat.
One of those guys. Yeah, that's who it really was. One of those guys in the top hat. Let's get another round of sponsor shout-outs.
Folks, if you're seeking specialized patient-focused orthopedic care, contact the experts and our friends at Texas Orthopedics. Their physicians offer comprehensive surgical and non-surgical orthopedic care for children and adults, spinal care, sports medicine, trauma care, joint replacement, and more. Dr. Christopher Daney, Dr. Christopher Stockton are dedicated orthopedic surgeons there, and their goal is to get you right back into good health and the great quality of life that you deserve. Texas Orthopedics is the largest independent orthopedic practice in the state of Texas. For more information, go to txortho.com.
Yes, indeed. Love Texas Orthopedics. Also love our friends at McCall Custom Homes. If you're looking to renovate a kitchen, remodel a bathroom, maybe add some new life to your outdoor space, our friends at McCall Custom Homes can do any or all of those things for you. They're custom home builders, so if you want to start from scratch, they can do that too. Also, custom home renovators, so they can turn your current space into something truly, truly special. Great people. The McCalls, it's a father-son team, tons of experience here in Central Texas. They're no fly-by-night company. They've been around, and they're going to stay around for a long, long time. Why? Well, they do great work, and they treat people with care and respect. They're A+ rated by the BBB. Tons of 5-star reviews online. Bucky's had a bunch of work done at his place by McCall Custom Homes. We trust our spots to them. You should too. McCall Custom Homes, ATX.com. They're offering free estimates to listeners of this show. McCall Custom Homes, ATX.com. Or you can reach out to our good friend Mike McCall directly, 512-633-9580. It's McCall Custom Homes. We build value into your home.
And of course, our good friends over at Hat Creek Burger Company. Don't forget about those folks. Great time at dinner. Take the kids on over to Hat Creek Burger, their locations with the great playscape that they have. And mom and dad, if you want to have a margarita in the evening, you can do just that. Be careful playing on the playscapes, though. Be careful after a couple margaritas doing that and driving, of course. But I love Hat Creek Burger. Love Hat Creek Burger Company. The milkshakes, double with cheese, of course. The fries, whether it's regular fries or sweet potato fries, they've got that. And they've got chili, BK. I've fallen in love with the chili at Hat Creek Burger. All I needed to do was go one time. It was absolutely delicious. But, folks, they've been in the Texas area. They have over 25 locations throughout the state of Texas. Born and bred right here in Austin, Texas. The Hat Creek Burger Company. fantastic burgers, fantastic meals. And at some locations, they even serve breakfast starting at 7 a.m.
Yes, indeed. Love Hat Creek, and also love the Hecht Law Firm. Ryan Hurricane Hecht, the best personal injury attorney here in Central Texas. Guy's been a good personal friend of mine for more than a decade. He's been fighting for justice and big results in Central Texas for more than a decade as well. So if you or anybody you know gets hurt in a car wreck, 18-wheeler accident, workplace injury, whatever, any kind of personal injury, don't call the jabronis you see on TV. Reach out to Hurricane Hecht, because he's going to be there for you and with you every step of the way. When you get injured, you're dealing with enough trying to get your life back on track. Let Hurricane Hecht do the heavy lifting. Let him fight the insurance companies for you and get you every dollar that you deserve. 512-938-8929, or go to his website, hechtlawfirm.com. That's HECHT lawfirm.com.
Great.
All right, some other big headlines from the sports weekend, Buck.
How about your tennis? What's your tennis guys?
I wasn't sure if we were going to go golf or tennis first. You want to go tennis?
You got to give me the word on the old man tennis player.
Well, Carlos Alcaraz took down the old man, Novak Djokovic,
Ooh.
down under in the finals of the Australian Open early yesterday morning. Carlos Alcaraz defeating Novak Djokovic in 4 sets. He becomes the youngest men's tennis player ever to complete the career Grand Slam. 22. And he's already won all 4 Grand Slams. He's won 7 Grand Slams already, again, at the age of 22. But previously, it was Rafael Nadal who was the youngest to win all 4. He was 24 when he was able to pull it off. Carlos Alcaraz, the #1 tennis player in the world, was able to do it at 22. And obviously, he defeats the GOAT, Novak Djokovic, who has 24 Grand Slams. He was looking for 25, and he's obviously getting up there in age, in his late 30s, and not so sure how many opportunities he's going to have and how many times he's going to get this close to winning. So I know a lot of folks, a lot of the crowd was rooting for Novak to pull it off, but Carlos Alcaraz was the favorite. I mean, the future is now for men's tennis. That guy is unbelievable. And
the Joker's coming off a knee, though, isn't he? I mean, I know he's older, but he's coming off a knee, isn't he?
I mean, he's been dealing with injuries a lot in the last couple of years. Obviously, he pulled off a huge upset, beating Jannik Sinner in the semifinals, which was incredibly impressive. Hopefully, he wins at least one more. Again, he already has the record. What he's done is legendary. Sure. But I was pulling for him yesterday, too, because I know Alcaraz is about to rip off a bunch more of these. Yes. It's like, I don't know how often we're going to see Novak win another one, or, again, have a chance to win another one. But
he and Sinners are about to be the face of tennis, men's tennis.
Yeah. Well, it's 9 straight majors for Alcaraz or Sinner. I mean, they already are. They already are the face of the sport. And, I mean, we've already seen those guys play each other in a bunch of Grand Slam finals, and that's not going to change. And, like, I think I'm careful to do this because of what happened with Tiger Woods, Buck. Like, remember when Tiger in 2000, he won his 5th major at the PGA Championship?
Yes.
He was 25, and it's like, okay, he already has 5. Jack has 18. There is no way Tiger Woods does not break Jack's record. He might do this in 5 years. And then Tiger didn't break it. He's got 15.
Yeah, those things are hard. They're hard to do, BK. When you get an opportunity to win a championship, you have to. You just never know when you're going to get there again. I thought Jordan Spieth was going to win more green jackets than anybody in golf. And look how that's gone. I mean, I swear, I'm not that I thought Jordan Spieth was going to be the best golfer ever to play, but I thought he had that place down, that he was going to win the most green jackets of all. And boy, was I wrong.
Yeah, well, it's the beauty of sport. Sometimes it's the pain of sport, right? It's so unpredictable. Yeah, Jordan Spieth won those 3 majors very early on and then hasn't won one since 2017.
Yes.
It's 2026, coming up on a decade for the lifetime Longhorn. So yeah, you never want to assume anything, but again, Carlos Alcaraz already has 7. He's 22 years old. The record is 24. There's 4 of these events every year.
That's right.
And he's got a shot, a very good shot. He's got to stay healthy. That was obviously a problem with Tiger. And look, a lot of Tiger's issues were self-inflicted too.
True.
A big part of the prime of his career was taken away because of some of the decisions he made away from the course. So Alcaraz has to make sure he keeps his head on straight. And obviously health has to be a big part of this too. But my goodness, the pace that he is on right now, we might I know everyone's like trying to find the next GOAT all of the time in a respective sport.
You're right.
Novak's the guy right now in men's tennis, but we might be watching the new one unravel right before our eyes.
Absolutely.
So impressive win for Carlos Alcaraz. Just an incredible story. Fun match yesterday. Novak actually won the first set 6-2, and it's like, oh my God, are we about to see this happen? And then 3 straight for Carlitos gets the job done. And then in golf, how about your guy, Rosie? Justin Rose. Yeah. Speaking of Tiger Woods, Justin Rose broke Tiger Woods' tournament record at Torrey Pines, shooting 23 under to win the Farmers Insurance Open by 7 strokes.
Yeah, he did it from the start to the finish.
Yeah, first golfer to lead wire to wire at Torrey Pines since 1955. You were a patron at that event, I believe, in the mid-50s.
I was just being born in 1955, right by the Liberty Bell in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
No, I said 19, not 1855.
No, 1955.
1955. Tommy Bolt was the last golfer. I don't know who that is. I've never heard of that dude.
I never heard of it either.
The last golfer to go wire to wire at Torrey Pines until Justin Rose. Total domination. I mean, I don't want to say it wasn't fun because I enjoy watching golf, and watching a really good player tear up a course like that is entertaining. But it was, if you were looking for drama, if you were looking for, who's going to win this thing, you did not get any of that.
Yeah, we got the good one. We got the waste management. This the fun one coming up. Super Bowl Sunday. That's always cool. Been near to that one during that time. This will be fun. Koepka's back.
Koepka was back this weekend. Scotty will be in the field this coming weekend. You'll have some big names. I mean, that's a fan favorite and a player favorite each and every year. So some good golf coming up. And yeah, how about
more blondes per square feet that I've ever seen at a place.
Scottsdale?
Yeah, wow.
Remind me when were you in Scottsdale?
I was there for a Super Bowl.
Oh yeah.
I was there for a Super Bowl. Oh, so that's right. Can I count a golfing event? I was there for when they had a Super Bowl there. We went out and watched that golf tournament. That's when I saw Emmitt Smith's wife, and I went catatonic on the radio. I couldn't speak when she showed up. I thought it was Beyonce.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that was a long time ago, sir.
Yes, it was a long time ago. And I'm telling you, what a fantastic, what a venue that place is. That place is nuts.
That golf course?
Yes.
Yeah, never been out there. And again, people love it. And that's a very popular area for sporting events. They host Super Bowls there. They've hosted Final Fours there. There's a lot that happens in the Phoenix, Glendale, Scottsdale area. And this tournament coming up. By the way, congrats to lifetime Longhorn Pearson Cootie, DFW kid. Finished tied for second this weekend. So 7 shots behind. He was never really in the mix to win because nobody besides Justin Rose was. But pretty cool for Pearson Cootie, his best showing on the PGA Tour. And he's taken home more than $700K thanks to that runner-up finish. We'll take that.
Yeah, I like him. Those are the twins, right?
Yes, Parker Cootie is the other of the Cootie brothers.
Yeah, I like both those guys. Those guys, they're starting to come into their own now, and they've got some exemptions, so that should be fun watching them play this season.
No doubt. Yeah, big for Cootie. Not only to make the money, but he does get to play at a few more big events, especially in this West Coast swing. I think he'll be in the field this week too.
That'll be fun for him.
The waste management. So there you go. There's your golf. There's your tennis. Taking a look at some of the other big sports headlines from around the weekend. Little NFL conversation, Buck. The Arizona Cardinals have hired Mike LaFleur as their next head coach. He's the Rams offensive coordinator. And it sounds like Clint Kubiak, the Seahawks offensive coordinator, will be getting the Raiders gig after the Super Bowl. So sounds like Arizona wanted Kubiak. Sounds like both teams wanted Kubiak, but he chose Vegas.
Yeah, he made a decision. He's not taking that dadgum. He's not going to the Raiders. They'd rather have the Raiders gig.
Well, not that either gig is that great because neither franchise has been that great. But with the Raiders, you get the number 1 overall pick in the draft.
Right.
And Fernando Mendoza. I mean, Arizona has the 3rd pick in the draft, which is not bad, but it's not number 1, and you don't get the Heisman winner.
Yeah, that's true.
So I get Kubiak making that decision, and Arizona instead pivots to another offensive coordinator from a division rival. Mike LaFleur is the younger brother of Packers coach Matt LaFleur. the Rams offense was the best in the league this year. Number 1 in points per game, yards per play. Problem is, Mike LaFleur didn't call the plays. That would be Sean McVay who handled it.
Yeah, that's the guy who made the play calls. You're right.
And the McVay tree, it's like the Shanahan tree. I mean, it's been successful. There have been a lot of teams who have tried to hire anybody who's been associated with Sean McVay or lifetime Longhorn Kyle Shanahan. And a lot of times it's worked. But yeah, first-time head coach for LaFleur. And again, taking a pretty big step up, going from non-play calling offensive coordinator to NFL head coach. See how it goes.
Yeah, I'm the Super Bowl should be an awful lot of fun this week. There are some exciting players involved in this game. BK, that's what's going to be the fun about it. I mean, you got I guess I can't call Sam Darnold a young quarterback. But he's not that old, is he?
He's been around. I mean, shoot, he's 28, almost 29. This is his 5th team in his young career.
It's almost weird to be calling, guys that aren't 30 years old quarterbacks.
He's a veteran. He's definitely a veteran quarterback, and he's obviously paid his dues to get here. Yeah, so it's not the sexiest Super Bowl we've ever had by any stretch. Like, there's not a ton of super intriguing storylines, at least to me. Now, it's the Super Bowl. It's going to be worth a watch, and people are going to watch. But there's not a lot of attractiveness from this matchup itself. But obviously, the Sam Darnold story it's an interesting one, and obviously it's a great redemption story too, considering that guy was cast off by a bunch of other teams, including Minnesota, Minnesota Vikings. He won 14 games for them last year, and
Thank you very much.
No, that's not good enough. We don't want you here. So they let him go. They let him sign with Seattle, and here he is a year later playing for the Lombardi.
And he is firing the ball too.
Yeah, I mean, he was awesome. Like, I wasn't sure. He didn't do much against San Francisco in their first playoff game. And I'm like, I know he's been really good this year, but is Sam Darnold good enough to put his team on his back and go out there and carry the Seahawks to a win in a big game against a really good team? And then against the Rams, I mean, he went blow for blow with the future Hall of Famer, Matthew Stafford. And he was the best player on the field, you could argue, for either team in that game. He made every good throw, no turnovers, clutch. And he was, again, the biggest reason why Seattle won that NFC championship.
No doubt.
So he's earned it, man. He earned it with that performance. And
he's got weapons at wide receivers, and he's got a nice running back, and they got a hell of a defense.
It's a matchup of 2 top 3 picks at quarterback, but 2 very different journeys, right? Drake May.
No doubt.
I know it's year 2 for him. I can't say instant success because last year the Pats were 4-13, but pretty early on success. That guy's one of the favorites to win MVP this year. And then for Sam Darnold, it was, the team that drafted him, he got cast off by them, and he just bounced around the league and finally found a good situation, and he's paid his dues to get to this spot. So, yeah, we'll see who has the edge. Who do you think has the edge there? Which quarterback are you more confident in?
Well, and Sam Darnold.
Okay.
With his receivers.
Yeah, Seahawks definitely have better receivers than New England.
My goodness.
Does. I mean, Jackson Smith and Jigba.
He's ridiculous, that dude.
Yeah, another Ohio State receiver who has turned out to be a superstar in the league.
Rockwall, Texas.
Rockwall zone. Yep, up there in the Metroplex. Yeah, he's a stud. Yeah, the Seahawks, I think, top to bottom, have the better roster. The quarterback's interesting, and the head coach is interesting because I think you could make a strong case that Drake May is the better quarterback here, and you could make a strong case that Mike Vrabel was the better head coach here. By the way, those 2 guys are like your favorites for NFL Coach of the Year.
I know.
This year. So I don't know. New England might have the edge there, but I think top to bottom overall roster talent, Seattle is the better team in this game. And it's why they're a 4 to 4.5 point favorite.
That makes sense.
So we'll obviously be talking about that game throughout the course of the week. Early pick.
Seattle.
Seattle win and cover?
Yes. And covers.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, that defense, Drake May he's going to get a couple of his nice runs off, but he is going to get punished for running the football in this game. They got secondary guys that love to hit.
Physical defense. And Look, the Patriots, I mean, they played the best defense in the NFL when they took down Houston in the divisional round. Seattle was kind of right there. In some stats, they were a little better than Houston. In some stats, they were a little worse than Houston, but that defense has been the best in the NFC all season long. And they are physical. They are tough. They do not back down. So it will definitely be a test. Look, Drake May had 3 turnovers against the Texans. I know the Pats won that game. Obviously, weather a big factor too. You shouldn't have to worry about that in Santa Clara on Sunday.
No.
But Drake May is not – he hadn't had to put up super gaudy numbers. Again, weather a factor against Houston, obviously a factor in Denver in the AFC Championship game, so that's a huge reason why. But can he, like Sam Darnold in these playoffs, has proved that he could carry his team to a win? Can Drake May, he did this a lot in the regular year, but he hasn't had to do it yet in the postseason. Can he make those big throws if this is a one-score game in the fourth quarter? Patriots, the best one-score game or one-score team all season long. If this game is close, can the young Drake May make the plays to carry his team?
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see how he matures in a game like this, because this is the game. And he's only been in the league a couple of years, and this defense can really get after you. They get after the quarterback now.
Everyone's rooting for Seattle, right? Like Gen Pop.
Nobody wants New England to start this crap again.
Exactly. It's not like everyone loves the Seahawks. It's just rooting against the Patriots.
Yes, that's what it's about.
Right. Obviously, if you're a Boston fan or New England fan, then, of course, we know who you're rooting for. But if you're literally a fan of any of the other 31 teams, or if you live in, like, the other 49 states outside of Massachusetts, I think you're rooting for the Seahawks here.
Yes.
I know the Patriots, it's the Patriots. It's America. They're red, white, and blue. But it feels like a win for Seattle is a win for America on Sunday.
Yeah, I would think so. We don't want to see – because once they get on a roll, they seem to stay on that roll in New England.
Didn't we just do this? The young quarterback, new coach, taking over, winning a championship early on. Didn't we just?
It's almost like it's supposed to happen.
Oh, don't say that. Please, Lord, don't say that. All right, so we'll obviously talk more about Super Bowl 60 throughout the course of the week. Exciting guest, Quan Cosby's going to join us on tomorrow's show.
Awesome.
A legendary lifetime Longhorn. We'll chop it up with him, get his thoughts on Texas football's offseason, and just see how he's doing right now.
Yeah, I got to talk some baseball with him tomorrow.
A little baseball with Quan, too. Yeah, some great guests. It's going to be a huge part of what we are building here on the new era of the Bucky and BK show. Again, thank y'all so much for being a part of what we've got. All right, Buck. Groundhog Day to wrap things up. Are you a fan of this bit? You're a Northeast guy. Do you like this?
I'm not just a fan of a Northeast guy. I'm from the state of Pennsylvania. I was born in Pennsylvania. I lived most of my life in Pennsylvania, but that's not true anymore.
No.
I've been here an awful long time, but yeah, I like the bit. It's a cute little bit. I've had groundhogs. I had a groundhog for a pet. So.
Really?
Yes. I got an injured groundhog and took him into, back in the day, I took the groundhog and caged him inside of an old garage that had a dirt floor. Guess what the groundhog did? You know, he's a groundhog.
Yeah.
He got out from underneath not only the cage part, but he got out from underneath the garage part, because it was all dirt. That dude dug a hole so quick. He's a groundhog. I'm a kid. I've seen the holes that those things make, and they smell. They have a bad smell to them. There's a bad odor to them.
Dug a hole through a metal cage?
No, he dug it. The bottom of the cage was still the ground. I caged it around, but he got out of that, and then out of the garage.
Oh, yeah.
So,
you made it easy for him.
Oh, yeah, really.
Oh, gosh. Well, Groundhog Day is today. Fitting that we're back on the radio as we're talking about this. But it's been going on in Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania since 1887.
The day after I was born.
The first year they celebrated this tradition at, what is it, Gobbler's Knob?
Yeah, Gobbler's Knob.
Well, here, we didn't cut this entire thing because it's way too long, but here's 3 dudes in coats and top hats holding up this groundhog, piece of shit Phil, as we like to call him. And here is apparently the forecast for what's to come.
Let's celebrate all, young, old, babies, or millennial, and kick off America's semi-quincentennial. We look to the future and not just the past. So I suppose this party could use a forecast. It is my job this February 2 to look to the skies and report back to you, that there is a shadow here on my ground. 6 more weeks of winter abound.
6 more weeks of winter. Yeah. For those people back there, not up in here.
We don't need to listen to that little gerbil.
No, that's for the nobblers. That's for the gobnobblers or the hobnobblers or whatever it is. That's not for us. That's for those dudes.
What is a gobnobbler?
I don't know. Like bobbing for apples. Who knows? But I'll just say this: not 6 more weeks here. I got you. I got your back here.
So you're the weatherer on this show.
Yes.
In this city, you're saying we don't need to worry about what the little fur guy had to say.
No, that big overstuffed squirrel. No.
It's Groundhog Day. It's the same thing every year. Since 2000, Punxsutawney Phil has seen his shadow and predicted 6 more weeks of winter 20 times. That's all it is.
Well, let me just say this. What do you think? Last week they had 22 inches of snow back there in Pennsylvania. Yeah. You know, when we had the little what we thought was some flakes on the ground that turned into ice.
You're saying we don't have that? We're not going to have any more of that this year?
No. February we'll get a couple more cold days where we're in that 30s, that freezing, like 2 or 3 days. But dude, 6 weeks, not here.
Not up in here.
Not up in here. No.
I love it. Well, there you go. We'll see.
Believe me, back east tomorrow will not be 70 degrees, 68 degrees.
Is that what we have? I haven't even checked the weather this week. Is that what we got?
Tomorrow.
Oh my gosh. That's why we live here and not up on Nobbler's hog or whatever.
Yeah, hog
I'd like to get my hog gobbled if that's
Let me just say, up on the old knob gobbler. No, they don't. They got 6 more weeks. Dude, that doesn't even seem like that long. They'll be digging out in, April, late April to May. They'll still be digging out. It'll be more than 6 weeks. That's just you got 6 more weeks. And then that's not including the extras that you have, just the regular winter. That's just that big squirrel seeing his shadow, big scaredy cat.
Yeah, a little squirrel, a little hamster, a little rat, a little gerbil.
It's all in one.
And he's a good writer, though. He's got some clever lines right there.
He certainly does.
Got the rhymes going for sure.
That dude is truly round-shouldered.
The Groundhog?
Oh, my God.
That is great. Yeah, he is. Apparently he is. There you go. All right, that's going to do it for day 1 of the new iteration of Bucky and BK. Again, we are live every day, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch right here. You can find us. Make sure you subscribe. Turn the notifications on. We'll make it easy, though. Same place, same time, every single day. And then, again, don't forget, part of our new partnership with iHeart and 1300 The Zone, be able to catch this show each and every weekday afternoon from 5 to 7 p.m. Buck, fun first day, my friend.
It was fantastic, BK. I'm looking forward to a lot more fun and phone calls. This was very nice. We got through the day without a phone call. More of us and less of you is always a good thing, folks.
I didn't think so. I thought we wanted more of them, but apparently they want more of us and less of them.
That's good. That's good because we can't wait till the first couple get on and start talking.
Yeah, I got a hunch that's all going to change very, very soon. Very soon. All right. Thank you all for tuning in, and we will talk to y'all tomorrow.